All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to my stream. We're coming at you live from Charlotte Motor Speedway tonight. This is our longest race of the year, the Armed Forces 400, the BRB Racing League's Buttkicker Cup Series. And we'll be live through the whole thing, all 265 laps. Got a great turnout tonight. This is our first stream on YouTube. We have left Twitch. I mean, Twitch still... my account still exists, but I'm going to try this out, see if I can find some people that want to hang out and watch racing over here. So Twitch has been kind of a cesspool lately. So we're here. My name is Adam. The channel is called Apex Maximus. I am the owner and founder of the BRB Racing League. Myself and two of my good friends, Steven and Gavin, started this whole thing earlier this year, and this is our first season, fourth race of the season. And it's grown really quickly, and we have a great group of guys. So I'm looking forward to tonight, and I hope it goes well. We have the broadcast up in the corner for everybody to check out, because I know I'm not that interesting to watch drive around in circles.
Looks a little
and we'll be hanging out with Steven and Gavin in the Discord. I appreciate
on
anybody who happens to stop by tonight.
Looks like a
Let's
good
get this thing started.
These guys.
We'll have to see as he comes through turns 3 and 4. He hugs that line around the bottom of the track. And he does not quite touch the outside of the track there. And as a result, Ronnie able to put that car. Where is he going to end up here? So far, only 7.
I just realized my power strip is
I
hanging
think he touched the wall barely
from the
to
bottom
get
of
on
my
0x.
PC shelf where it's supposed to be, and just
And as you
dangling
know,
there. So
here in
hopefully it stays
iRacing,
dangling, because
touch
there's
the
shit I can do
wall,
about it
that
now.
is it.
So
And so qualifying finishes up. Before we get to that, why don't we go ahead and we'll take a look here at the points as they come in here.
all right, I got to give my
to
pre-race
Charlotte
speech.
Motor Speedway, and there you
Make
can
sure I
see
give the
after
right
3
information.
rounds, it is Ronnie.
All right,
Morgan
everybody, thank
who
you guys
takes
for
the
being here
lead.
tonight. We are
And
at Charlotte for the
Gavin
Armed Forces
Rogers
400,
will be
our
sitting
longest race of
in
the year.
second
Great
place.
turnout. Thank you guys so
Adam
much for being here.
Buzzeo
We've
there
got
in
265 laps, not 75. That was a
the
typo.
only win so far
265
coming at the
laps.
hands of Norman
The
and
first stage will
Rogers.
be at the end of lap
Stephen Borbell in
75.
fourth place
The
in
second
3
stage will
spots.
be
Bill
at the
Hales
end of lap
sitting in
150.
fifth after
Again,
taking the early
stages
lead
are
in the very
at the
first
end of
round
lap
the season, but only
75
10
and at the
points
end of
separating
lap
the top two.
150.
Everybody else
You have
for Buzzeo
80%
on
fuel,
back
and you have 6 sets of
is,
tires in
got
the
quite a
pits.
gap to make up if they
1
want to try
fast
and
repair,
challenge
3
those
green-white checker
top two.
attempts.
So with that,
Got a full
let's
field
go
tonight.
ahead and
Long
take a
race.
look at
Let's
the
try to put on a good show
starting
for
grid
broadcast. Let's not
for
make it any
tonight's
longer than it
Armed
has to be.
Forces
Give everybody room out there in the
400.
beginning. Thank you guys so much for
You
being
can
here and
see
being
it
part of
is
this.
Gavin
Good luck and
Rogers
have
who
fun.
takes over the top spot for
That's my
Next Level
speech.
Motorsports. Starting next to him will be Jared Hughes, and alongside of them, just behind them will be Nicholas Renner, and alongside him will be Carl
I'm
Pooler
offended.
for Limitless Esports. On the third row, be Stephen Borbell and Matthew Corder. On that fourth row will be Matthew Iracing and Adam Buzzeo.
Hey,
Ninth will be Bill Hales, and next to him will be
guys, a
Cameron
couple
Stearns.
things. I know we have some new people here, so I'm just reiterating
And you'll
this.
wanna be looking out
We do
for
use
some
the
of these
choose rule here.
patriotic
I will call
teams
out the
tonight. There's
choose
one for
coming
you,
to
NASCAR
the
Salutes.
restarts.
On
We
board the
use
number
the start
96,
finish
Evan
line,
Patinko
coming to
for
one to
Spirit
go.
Racing.
All
Spirit
the
Racing really getting
restarts
into
are
the
on the
action.
leader
There's some
except the
Facebook
initial
hosting as
start.
well. We
That is
appreciate
on
that.
iRacing.
Cameron Stearns
So you can't
starting
go until
alongside
iRacing
him.
says go. We don't use the
Then you've got
restart
another
zone other
patriotic
than
paint
that.
scheme here
That restart is on the leader. The leader controls it.
Evan Patinko, for Richard Wolsifer.
Call out your pit
So,
stops.
Fan of that one.
Be smart about it.
That's a good looker. There's some
Love
real
you.
nice paint schemes here in the field here tonight.
Can you guys hear
Air
me?
Force represented on Ryder Reminick's
All right, cool.
machine.
I disconnected, I think, for
Will
a
be
second.
starting in 13th. Patrick Hernandez, new to the series. He's going to be starting 15th position. And I believe we did mention Brendan Mannix, but he'll be out there in 14th. Christopher Campbell in 16th place. And then starting...
Well, Nick boogered that up for everybody.
let's see, 18th will be Eric
I told
Lott.
him, man, like,
Then Ronnie Norman.
just ride in the back, like,
17th.
just come out and have fun.
And 19th will go to Jeff Barefoot and Dustin Stallings. I don't think is he going to take the start? I guess so. He is out there. So with that, we are ready to get going here The green flag is out, and we are underway at Charlotte Motor
Hopefully the stream
Speedway.
looks and sounds
Looks
good.
Like somebody didn't get going there at
I don't
all.
really know how to check it on
Yeah, it looks
YouTube like
the
I do on
95
Twitch,
of
so
Brenner, he missed a
you
shift
guys are kind of getting what you
and,
get tonight.
kinda stacked
So I
up
hope
the
it looks
inside
and
lane
sounds
there.
okay.
He lost, I think, 5 positions.
Well, very easy thing to do.
See a lot of guys going up to the top here.
We've really got to save our tires. These stages are long. It's a long race. We didn't quite figure out how to do.
Well, Gavin Rogers holding down
We
the
didn't
top
quite figure
spot,
out
started from
how to
pole
do
position.
that
Jared
in the practice
still
race. We're
holding
gonna have to
on
work on it.
second
But
place.
if we
Carl
get yellows,
Fuller
which I
in
hope we
third.
don't,
And you see Adam Buzzio,
might
Matthew
not have to worry
Porter
about it as much.
working hard.
Yeah,
there
I
for
couldn't hear you,
fourth
bud.
Place. Buzzio now
That's why-
moving up. He's
that's
moved
why-
up 4 positions already. Look at that paint scheme on board with Buzzio. That's got some
I wonder what happened to Brendan.
stars and stripes if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, very patriotic car right there.
Certainly would mean a lot
Ooh,
to
we got a caution.
a lot of these drivers. Looks like
that
Evan
Patinko?
Patinko. Yes.
Yeah.
We got Patinko around, and we'll go back and.
I
pick
swear
up
to
the
God, if
coverage.
that was
Wanna
Zach
say
or
hello
Nick.
to all of you joining us here on YouTube Live. Appreciate it as always. Make sure to check in with us and let us know who you're rooting on. Be sure to give you a shout out in a little bit.
Oh,
What, that front bumper
that's
when he
Ryder.
went up, he
Yeah.
definitely hit something. We'll see what he hit.
Definitely caved in.
Yes,
Get
we will.
overhead here. Oh, it happens in front.
I'm
That's
gonna
a
play it by
multi-car
ear.
accident.
Oh, man. I think that was
I think
the
what I'm gonna do
33
is
that
try to
got
take
hooked.
just enough fuel
Brandon Maddox.
to
Indeed, we'll have to take one more look at
get to
that
the end of
one.
the stage and just get it back out as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Looked like the 92, maybe? Hooked some here.
Yeah.
See, he drops down a little bit and just gets a little tag in the left rear and
Yeah, you killed it.
sent around. And looks like
I
4 cars
did my
collected on that one.
stereotypical bad qualifying run, so.
Definitely multiple vehicles involved. We'll see what that looked like from onboard Maddox's number 33 machine.
He took a late
Yeah, but you
dive
buggered
to
up the
block
start
that
for everybody
bottom,
behind you.
And from behind, he gets tapped there. There wasn't enough room to get underneath him, and he just got tapped from behind, and around he goes.
And now we'll take a look from Patinko. As
No reason to be nervous. Long race.
quite the eyeful heading into
Yeah.
this one.
Choosing this time. Choosing
You know,
this
it's
time.
always
Thank you,
terrible
Steven.
whenever you're in this position trying to avoid a wreck. It's so hard because you pick a lane and it just isn't there. He got help from behind into that
They
one.
did, indeed. And we come back now to the live picture. Patinko in to get that damage repaired, and America's Navy number 33 machine still sitting on pit road for Brendan Maddox. Unfortunate
Yeah.
to start the night that way.
If this was the old NASCAR, they used to be able to get a whole new front clip out there and put on a new front bumper.
Guys,
and
before you
kinda
start
help
calling
him out,
out,
but he's got no
race
front
control to clear
bumper,
your
no
black
front
flag. Give him
quarter
about a
panels.
lap.
That's
He'll
gonna be
go
rough
through
because
and
this track is very aerodynamic.
use his method to clear him. If
sensitive
he
here.
happens to miss you, just
Yeah, you
give him a
really
gentle
do
reminder
have
once we
to
do a lap or so.
be aware of how aero sensitive this track is, and that was the subject of the last race. Even though it was at
Last thing,
Bristol,
we do not
it
clear black
was
flags
all about feeding
for
dirty
anything
air
other
to the
than
car and
going
back,
down
and
pit
I
road
know
to
there were
avoid a
lot
wreck
of
for the
words
most part. That
exchanged,
and obviously on the
both, on
restarts.
track and
If you
off
get a
track
meatball
between
for
Gavin
any reason,
Rogers
we do not clear that,
Ronnie
so please
Norman.
don't ask.
And let's
I just
just
wanted
say
to remind
things are
everybody
still
that.
not resolved between these two. So Ronnie, if he gets up there to the front and he has to go side by side with Gavin Rogers, we might have some fireworks here tonight before the end of this race.
Yeah, the funny thing, I've never heard Ronnie
No.
get mad, I think, a day in my life. So he's the most level-headed guy there is, and he messaged me about last week, and he was like, yeah, apparently I made some people mad, so.
Yeah, some people were mad. Let's just
All right, here we go.
let's leave it at that. Hopefully,
Let's
they
try
can
this
all
again.
remain cool here and calm, and we'll get ourselves a great race in here tonight. Again, welcome to everybody watching us live on YouTube. We got WolfX Live. Let's go. I'm here this time, and indeed, Richard Wolsifer checking in with us. He's out there. Ashley Pooler. Let's go. Carl Pooler, number 71. Also, Richard Wolsifer, number 56. Go Limitless Racing. And John Shirochi checking in. Let's go, Gavin. Get her done. And Ark checking in. Let's go, number 2. We got lots of fans in the crowd. Dawn and Lee also there for Gavin Rogers.
Guys.
So always great to see all of y'all joining us. Appreciate the shout outs. And here we go again.
Hey, Renner got a better start this time. He didn't miss a shift, and he's going to actually pass a car here going into turn 1 there in the 95 Lightning McQueen machine.
Well, there he is, challenging back in this field, in this fight, in the top 5. And I'm hearing some crashing behind. I'm not sure if he hit the wall. Do we have somebody in the wall?
Yeah,
Yes.
There's a caution on back in the field here.
Yellow flag. To see right
I think it might have been Barefoot in the 9.
And Barefoot now continues around the track. Well, yellow flag is out, so we'll jump back and check it out. Of course, the replay is brought to you by Sundance Pizza out of Wickenburg, Arizona. Barefoot there in the number 9 machine. And does he get help around? He sure
Oh,
does.
he does. Oh, good save.
Indeed. I heard another car go up and hit the wall.
Yeah, it was whoever got into him went flying into the wall. I'll have to see who that was. He had a great run on the outside. Oh, it's the 10 car.
Who is that? The 9 and the
Just
10?
gets
Who
into
the
him and then
who
goes
fuck
into
is
the
it?
wall
Oh,
there.
I think that's Dustin. I think
Well,
That's
Dustin's
an awesome
10.
save right there. He kept it off the inside wall and got it righted. Didn't hit anybody. Locked up the brakes. That's what you want to do whenever you're spinning. Lock up the brakes and don't hit anyone.
Certainly flying that jet out there and keeping it under control. Jeff Barefoot doing a good job for
I
the
don't know
US
who the
Air
9
Force,
is. Oh,
trying
that's
to
Jeff.
keep this race moving. In the meantime, you
Didn't
can
one of you
see,
guys say you were
one of
having
the
an
favorites
issue with
in the
Jeff last
crowd,
week?
Carl Pooler for Limitless Esports, up to 2nd position, up 2 spots so far.
Maybe that was a couple weeks ago. I feel like someone made a comment.
Jared Hughes there in 3rd, and Adam
Everyone's just got to get spread out. Like, I know everyone's kind of on top of each other on these starts.
Cup Series runs all the admin stuff behind the scenes, or most of it, and sitting there in 4th place of 4 spots. Another big mover is this guy right here, Dustin Stallings, and new into the field, running with that very patriotic Smithfield livery, but certainly up 8 positions and sitting just ahead of him.
Well,
That
Steven,
guy
if
that you
this
gotta
keeps up,
keep
you're going to
your
be
eye on.
fine.
Now, Christian, this is a very long race tonight. Again, we could stay green and it could
I'm
be
sorry, buddy.
just as fast as our race was last week at Bristol. But what do you do to gear yourself up for one of these really long
Going to be choosing this
events?
time, choosing this time.
Is there, I'm looking at Ronnie Norman, who's pulled this strategy out so many times where he's willing to lay back and then kind of wait towards the end of the race and then show all of his cards. Is that kind of the
Thanks, man.
strategy, or
Spent a
is
lot
it
of time
better
on
to
this
get
one.
up in front, try to avoid the wrecks, try to control the air? What are you thinking as a driver who's won multiple races at the top
I use
level?
Photoshop.
Well, you got to be up front in order to control the race. That's what I always say. So, and plus, stage points are so important. It's up front or nothing. Honestly.
What did
with
Rev just say?
Stage racing. So, Gavin Rogers is in the correct position right
Yeah,
now.
must
He's
not
in
have
the
been
best
important.
position in the field. Norman, with that contact in qualifying, he's going to have to try to get some stage points in order to keep up with Rogers there. These two, I have a feeling they're going to battle the entire season down to the last race.
That would be certainly very exciting.
Yeah,
for
I don't
us
know.
To watch, here
I
on
copied
virtualracing.network. If you're not
your
already
settings. I didn't
subscribed,
end
you
up
wanna make
sticking
sure
with them,
you're
but I
subscribed
copied
to get
them, and I
notified
wasn't getting
of
wheel shake. So I
all
think it might be.
upcoming races,
Oh, do you have your Simpro
for
opened
the
up right now?
BRB Buttkicker Cup Series.
Up in the
And
top
this is
right, it
gonna
should
be
say
a great
firmware,
season.
and then
Lots
like
of great talent in
1.8 something.
here.
What
More
is
drivers
what
joining
firmware
all
are
the
you
time.
on?
Great to have 20 with us tonight, but
Choosing
top-
this time,
top
choosing this
level
time.
of talent here, and always great to see drivers going out there and racing clean and fast. And last week at Bristol, there was a lot of fantastic racing.
There's nothing up there.
Tonight, we
Oh,
very
go to
likely are gonna see
devices.
the same thing. Little early
Like, are you
to
on the
tell,
home
but,
tab? Like,
some
go to your
drivers
device
getting it
tab.
wrong in the early going.
On
As a result, we're under our second caution of the night. And we should be coming back to green this next time.
Do you see where it says channel?
Leader, Carl Pooler in second, Jared Hughes.
Like above mechanical, it should say
third,
channel.
Started second, is now drifted back into that third spot. Adam Buzzio in fourth.
You see channel?
And
Pooler chose the
There's nothing to the right of that?
Interesting decision.
What the fuck?
Interesting.
We're gonna have to sit down and get you updated. I think you're running like a out-of-date version of SimPro, maybe.
He's gonna move up. Looks like Buttkicker also took.
Because that's one thing about this wheel, man. Their updates, like their updates are updates. Like it changes a lot. Like when I updated mine, it changed everything for me.
He's got a pretty interesting paint scheme on that machine.
Like made a huge difference.
Drivers that we haven't had much of a chance to call here on virtualracing.network, but
all right, boys, let's go.
once again, you're watching live iRacing here on virtualracing.network, and it's the Armed Forces 400. We're going to be hearing a little bit more about the Armed Forces here in a little bit. In the meantime, enjoy this great racing.
Absolutely, it's been a great race so far. Up front there, got a little bit, hair back toward the back, but they're working it out.
Gavin Rogers set to step on the gas here as we've just now made it through 10 laps. Hopefully we'll get some more clean laps in here momentarily. The flag is in hand of Barney the Flag Man. Rogers steps on the gas. Looks like Hughes may have gotten a little out of line, but not too bad. He's still in this fight, although Carl Pooler has now moved up into that second space. They're still going side by side, though, as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like Pooler is going to have a better run there on that outside.
So Pooler pulls into the second spot, a little bit further back. We've got Renner and Stearns now fighting it out side by side. Renner on the outside in the number 95. Pulls down across the track, thinks better of it. Now it's Wolsifer and Stearns who are fighting it out. Just ahead of them, Buzzio and Quarter. Quite the battle as they head down towards turn number 3. Quarter and Buzzio. Buzzio on that inside line and Quarter on the outside. Nicholas Renner looking in. Now Renner takes a look down low. And he's going to try to take that position before turn 1 as well. So Renner back in this fight. Trying to get back here into the top 3. Excuse me, this will be for 4th place if he can get this one done, or 5th place, excuse me. If he can get this one done, he's going to mount that charge one more time.
It's so hard to get a pass off whenever you're using the bottom. The outside's so much better.
Indeed. It's it pinches you on exit, and you can't quite be as free, and you can get such a better run off the corner.
He just hit the shit out of me.
Deceptive too. This is not a perfectly
I don't know
D-shaped oval, and certainly 1 and 2 are a bit more wide open than 3 and 4. So, getting crimped coming off of the corner can really.
Man, I got hit hard.
Buzzio, Jared Hughes now racing for that 3rd spot. Move Buzzio into.
No, someone ran to the back of me. I think it was Matt.
And we've got one around. I believe it's. Oh my goodness! It's Ronnie Norman who's involved, and numerous others are now involved as well. I see the number 90.
Big checkup halfway down the backstretch.
Of Jared Hughes is also involved in this.
No, I passed him and I was just running on the bottom and
exactly what happened.
Just ran into me.
Thank you, veterans. It says on the side. Unfortunately, he could probably use all the veterans out there in his pit lane to help him fix the vehicle because. Let's see here. I believe it would have started. Well, it would have started with Hughes.
I actually don't know who that was. I thought it was Matt.
So let's check this out from overhead. Excuse me, comes down and just tags Adam Buzzio, and then it all goes wrong, and Ronnie Norman in the absolute wrong spot. Goes up and tags Patrick Hernandez as well. rough stuff there. Let's why don't we take a look on board?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure my butt.
Side by side with Adam Buzzio.
Jared, that I
Backs
can't really.
out, but he
I mean, I know
gets-
you got the EOL
because
because
he's
that's how the
a
rules
little
work,
bit
but that was
higher
just
in
kind
the
of a
corner,
weird
he's
deal.
able to
I
carry
was
a little
just.
bit more speed
I had to
than
back out
Buzzio
of it a little
was, and
bit.
he starts back on the throttle.
And I think you
But
just
he ends up
had more
tagging
speed. Probably didn't
back
expect
into
it, so
Buzzio
that
and
wasn't anybody's fault on that
everybody
one. As far
into
as this is one of them deals. Let's try to get spread out here.
catastrophe. Let's take a look at what Ronnie Norman saw. There wasn't much to see. It was just a car in his face, but for the full send esports driver, oh my goodness.
Yeah, just nowhere to go there.
Yeah, there's a difference between a wreck like that and silly shit. You know what I
That
mean?
is
That's
brutal.
just one of them things that happens. So
And one more look this time from.
we'll get a long run here soon. Everyone's just got to get their
with the US
get their
Army
feet
on
under them.
board here tonight.
Nick, how's my back? My back end, is it pretty bad?
See, he's high on the track. Manages to pull it down
Oh, wow,
safely.
that's
Avoid
surprising.
Ronnie Norman. Has to go around Jared Hughes as well.
No.
Puts
Right.
everything back
right
together
right
once
call,
again.
right
So
call.
We're going to step aside for just a moment here on
What I meant when I
Network.
said that
Anywhere. We'll
is
be
just
right back, and in the meantime,
it wasn't like he
look on
drove
the
into the
screen
back
to
of me on
find out a little
purpose.
bit
That's
more
all.
about the armed forces.
It wasn't even overly aggressive. I backed out of it a little bit more than I probably needed to, just so I could keep on that bottom. And he just made a late lane change, and I think him and yeah. Brendan, what did you need, brother? Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when we're about halfway through 3 and 4. Jesus. Choosing this time, guys. I'm flattered and offended. Gavin, where you going, buddy? Oh, Cameron, we're through 3 and 4. Sorry, I was trying to talk. All right, cool. You got out. Good deal. Oh, guess I'm staying down here because I wasn't paying attention. I think they're doing an update. They're doing a patch. I think it's Wednesday. I think it's on Thursday. They're doing a patch. I've heard a lot of people are having stuttering issues since that update. I know I've had a couple. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it's possible.
Virtualracing.network. Again, the Armed Forces 400 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, and you picked a great night to tune in as we have this great salute to all of the
They
armed forces.
fixed the net
United
code and
States
gave us toe links
protecting
made out of
the United
glass.
States here at home and abroad. We salute all of those who are serving
Yeah,
in the military,
it's more
all the
accurate.
veterans, and one of those veterans is actually in the field. It's Adam Buzzio, and great that he served our country. Certainly appreciate it. He's carrying hope for the Warriors on the side, and great to see that he's participating in that. And again, kind of the all-star race, so to speak, of NASCAR at the top level, to have the all-star break be patriotic themed, and so that's why we're doing that this week. But of course, all those who are out there serving abroad and would love to be at home with their loved ones for the holidays, we do appreciate what you do for us and keeping us safe while we can go out there and go sim racing. So here we go, the green flag back in hand from Barney the Flag Man. We're about ready to kick this one back underway. Hopefully these drivers have shaken off some of these early race nerves. We're ready to get this one going again. Gavin Rogers, Adam Buzzio, Next Level Motorsports teammates, as Carl Pooler in that third spot now. And Nicholas Renner has moved up into the fourth spot.
Whoa, Gavin.
Wolsifer now up into the fifth spot.
Yeah, it was.
And some side-by-side racing between Patrick Hernandez and Matthew Iracing for the seventh spot right now, for the sixth spot, excuse me, as we've got another driver.
He's going to kill those
almost
tires.
off
I'm
the
just going to
wall
let
there.
him.
I believe that was, it could have been Matthew Porter that I saw out of the corner of my eye. He came up the track just a little bit. I'm getting some blinking issues from Eric Hawk. I know that a number of these drivers are participating in parts of the Northeast, and there is a lot of storm activity right now. In fact, I believe some of that may be affecting Christian Snyder's connection to the internet, so we apologize for any technical difficulties, but some blinking very common when there's storms and Dustin Stallings. Christopher Campbell now side by side for 11th position back here, so hot and heavy in the mid pack, racing it out. On board with Christopher Campbell's number 68 Toyota as he rides on the outside through turns number 3 and 4. Again, sitting in that 11th spot just up ahead, you see Stephen Borbell. And on the outside, Dustin Stallings right there alongside. Ryder Remnick also part of this group. Now they go 3 wide through the corner. That's not advisable here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Christian, 3 wide at this track. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it can be done, but it's very risky. And Remnick, he just wants to get up through the field, and he's got to get around the 68 somehow. You can finally get around to the outside here. They cleared each other, and now he's going to use the outside. The outside seems to be the only lane that's working right now to make passes.
Well, of course, there's been this huge oval refresh, too, and we wait to see how this is going to affect everyone. But certainly the way that the cars run on the track, if they all run on the bottom, then it'll be too hot on the bottom, and the top lane will open up. If everybody runs on the top lane, the bottom will open up, and it'll be interesting to see how that affects these drivers over a long green flag stint.
You know, we've talked about it throughout the year that I've been here. We were messing. Oh man, that was almost bad. But we were talking about weather potentially being added to iRacing, and I saw that it is going to be added finally. So that's definitely going to throw a wrench into some of the leagues if they turn on the setting for randomized weather.
Indeed it will, and obviously, and Dustin Stallings scrapes the outside there.
Just can't get comfortable here.
In the meantime, we've got some side-by-side racing up here between, I believe it's Stearns, Porter, and Ericsson now racing for those positions.
I just can't get comfortable with the slower tire saving groove. Like I love the
Hernandez and Wolf
the fast-paced hot lap line, but I can't seem to get down on the bottom and hug that line like Gavin can. Gavin can really lock his car onto that white line. I can't seem to do that.
To adapt on official racing, etc. How about this, Christian? We missed this. I don't know how we missed this.
I was thinking to myself, did I fall asleep? Did I miss something?
Nicholas Renner has taken over the lead of the Armed Forces 400, and I guess the question is, we've seen some games played the last couple of races with drivers going up there, using up their equipment, getting out front. Is it too early? Is he using up his equipment to slice and dice through this field and possibly using up those tires too quick?
Well, I think the fact that Gavin Rogers just passed him on the outside answered your question there. You can see now Buzzio going to pass him as well. So I think he just overdrove his stuff early here, and now the tires are starting to hurt a little bit on his car.
Well, and we got to remember how long this race is, and the fact that you don't want to use up all your tire sets either. That could come at a real premium later in the race when everybody ducks in for their fresh sets of tires. Here tonight, you've got 6 sets of tires in the pit. So you start on one set, and then you got 6 more sets of tires that you can take on. But again, these long green flag runs, yellows late in the race, definitely have to meter that out. And you were saying something like about 50 laps or so on a set of tires, is that right?
Well, fuel run is about 50 laps, and the tires are around the same. You're definitely going to want 4 tires after 50 laps. You know, it used to be you might be able to get away with 2 tires or even no tires with the old system, but now it's definitely going to be 4 tires every time.
Well, it looks like then, you know, you're going to take on 4 sets of tires if it just was equally spaced out and you went to the end of your fuel run, you would take on 4 sets of tires in the course of the race, in addition to the set that you start on, which would leave you 2 optional sets and when you would want to take those. But it never quite works out so perfectly, and you might gamble coming in a little early. So you see some great racing going on here between Nicholas Renner, Patrick Hernandez, who's on the outside now, and Adam Buzzio. Hernandez now looks to take that spot, the second space away from Adam Buzzio.
Trying to let people that are pushing their tires go.
Yeah, he used that outside to his advantage and got right around him, and he's going to keep onto the outside. And
it's kind of hard, though.
Work around, or try to work up to Rogers now.
It sounds silly. You'd think it'd be easy to let people go, but when you got people breathing down your neck, I mean, you don't want to lose too many positions.
Kozlowski fans recognize the paint scheme he's running. That car actually won, I believe, at Charlotte. Or actually, I think it was Talladega that paint scheme won at.
Patrick's quick, though. He was doing pretty well last night in the practice race.
Run somebody's paint scheme that already won. It's like an owner let you drive a car, and it turned out that it won a race already.
Everyone's starting to push it a little bit more here.
You know, mentally, I think it can help. You know, if you know that car has won before, and maybe it gets you into the mindset of, all right, well, now I'm going to go out and win in it.
Well, we look on now as Adam Buzzio sits in that 3rd spot. He was up in 2nd, now back in 3rd. 4 Fords in the top 5, in the top 4 positions. And now just as soon as I say that, Carl Pooler goes and breaks it up. But how about Patrick Hernandez now challenging
Richard's coming
at the top end of this race? Big old pack out there in front now. A lot of cars together, but Patrick Hernandez sticks it on the outside, and is he going to be able to hold it at the line? It looks like he will. Move Patrick Hernandez.
I think everyone's going to start seeing him making that outside lane work, and you're going to see more guys move up. You can see, I believe that's the 56 on the outside working there, trying to get around Polar, and he will. He's still side by side in the backstretch, and now you can see it looked like Buzzio defended the inside lane, and now that gives I can't pronounce that, man. Wolficer?
Gavin's really backing us up.
Wolficer. There we go.
There you go.
But he's going to be the one with tires at the end of this.
Hey, that's
I just don't want to get caught in something between now and then that I can't get out of.
He's got to work that outside lane. He's actually going to go down to the bottom, and you can see, oh, man, look at Polar. That outside lane.
He knows what he's doing.
Well, this is what I was talking about with that refresh.
I know guys like Richard and I think Patrick in this situation even is going to be hurting.
You're going to have to do a little bit of practice races.
Can't tell what Carl's doing. Carl was good last night on longer runs.
Certainly, Vincent Arthur was telling us about it last
I think they just want to get around Gavin. I think I'm going to go too. Oh, shit.
As the cars go around on the track in a particular groove, it heats up the surface on the track. Therefore allows the driver
He'll probably pass us in 10-15 laps, but that's all right.
And get a cooler track, which means faster temperatures and cooler tires. Wolfsburg now works his way underneath Hernandez, and we've got ourselves a new leader, Richard Wilsifer.
Yeah, that was a power move to the bottom. He started on the outside.
Yeah, Richard's already fallen off.
Kind of dove down to the bottom underneath him. That was a really good power move, but you can see with Hernandez having that outside lane in 1 and 2, he's going to defend that position.
Wow, that outside lane right now is a monster in the right hands, and Hernandez seems to have the best hands. Pooler gets stuffed up there. We're basically 3 wide, a little bit further back, but here comes Gavin Rogers on strong. He's going to look to try to take Patrick Hernandez.
Do you think Rogers there was saying, you know what, that's enough. I don't like this 3 wide. I'm gonna drop the hand.
Gavin turned on the afterburners, I see.
He gave up saving and just wanted to get back.
Now this
the
makes
lead there.
sense up here. Three of us. Carl makes sense.
When you run out in front, you control the front of the race. It gets to be a little concerning. When
Not sure how Patrick's going to hold up.
Trying to do
I mean,
they can. Yeah, Nicholas.
He was really good last night, so he might just be better than me.
Yeah, that was a tough
But
hit there.
seemed like he was pushing.
I don't think it will affect him too much because he didn't. He kind of hit it square. If he would have hit the rear more, it might have been a toe link. But it looks like he's fine.
But certainly, you know, if you've got the car, you've got the mentality to go out there and control the front. You know, it's so easy to do. You're running the clean air. Everything is, if you keep the guy behind it, bay, everything is easy.
Still got a lot of laps left in this stage. Plus we have to pit.
Traffic, as Hernandez and Buzzio now battle for that second position. But you get back there about 3 or 4 spots, the next thing you know, it's like sharks in the water. They can smell the blood. And they will attack you up and down. Next thing you know, you're trying to avoid accidents more than you're trying to go forward again. Move Buzzio back into second place as he's now usurped Patrick
Got
Hernandez.
17 laps left.
Yeah, that little side-by-side.
We're working lap 43, 53. That takes us up to lap 60. That leaves us 15 laps we got to get. We're going to put in 9 gallons. Should be enough.
Both of those drivers over at Next Level Motorsports, perhaps trying to control the front of this field as we get to upwards in this stage where a lot of these drivers that have not yet pitted are going to need to come in and take fuel and tires here momentarily. Richard Wilsifer, one of those drivers. In fact, the top 6 drivers have not yet pitted, whereas Matthew Porter came in and pitted on lap number 16. That'll put him a little bit off.
Me and Gavin both got a little tight there, I see.
For all the drivers from 14th on back. Now, we take a look back here. Here's our points leader, Ronnie Norman, sitting back in 15th position. Ronnie having recovered
Richard's
from
holding
that
on pretty
earlier
well.
incident where he had nowhere to go, but as a result, he is still on the lead lap. He might be down on pace a little bit, but he is still on the lead lap. So congratulations to him for getting back out there. In fact, everybody's still on this lead lap right now, with the exception of Brendan Maddox, who has finally returned to the race, albeit about 5 laps down.
Yeah, he had a really hard hit to that front bumper and might have got some radiator damage that he had to get fixed in the pits, but I tell you what, the guys at Full Send in the pit box really did a number on Ronnie, because whenever I saw that car, there was no front bumper, nothing on it. So they did a great job down there.
Getting tight. Right front's getting tired. It's not good. We got too much time. We still got 30 fucking laps left.
If Brady Moth is watching, he loves those gnomes.
I heard that Brady is he's in charge of workouts.
Shit.
They all work out.
A lot of cars back
the,
there.
The gym down there at Full Send's HQ, and he gets them fired up. You know, it's around Christmas time too. They're getting called to other duties as well. So a lot expected.
I think those are elves.
Oh, I see. They all
a little different. Both short.
Sometimes I get a little confused up here in the booth. I'm more of a racing guy. Gavin Rogers sitting out front, doing business well here for the Armed Forces 400. And right now, sitting in control with his U.S. Air Force number 77, bright silver machine. And of course, I myself, big fan of the Air Force. Just down the road here is one of the Air Force bases in Florida, and they're sprinkled all over in my area. But
I've tried everything I could possibly try that I know to do. And I just could not figure out how to save as good as Gavin. So
military guys having to get trained up. The one local base to me here is
Richard's holding good. See, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is, but
at least in Florida, so pretty cool to see them out there duking it out.
Doing something wrong.
Here we go in second place. Adam
Burning up that right front
Buzzio,
too fast,
Next Level
and with
Motorsports.
minimal pushing from what I
He's
feel
got
like,
Richard
anyway.
Wolffer behind him, taking a look on, and as these guys are getting ready to think about coming in and getting tires and fuel, it's going to be a real challenge to get off of this racing surface, get slowed down to pit speed.
Yeah, with those cautions that they had, they should have a couple extra laps. I'd probably say 56 or 57, maybe even the whole way to 60, depending on how much they saved under caution. But we got the stage coming up at 75, so these guys will have to pit before that still. And guys who don't are going to really come out on top at the end of stage 1.
Well, Carl Pooler right now was taking a look underneath Richard Wolffer, but that low line has just turned into a terrible opportunity to make passes. Looks like you really need that top line, and as a result, you know, you get pinched down there. It doesn't take very long once these tires are up to temp to get them overheated. They're very easy to get overheated if you drive them too hard, and as a result, Pooler has to pull back, and he gets a little sideways coming through the corner.
You know, we'll see if any of these front runners are listening to the broadcast, but I think the best strategy that these guys could pull is come in and get fuel only just to get to the end of the stage, save a set of tires, and put them on for the beginning of stage 2. I think that would be their best bet here at this point.
Well, we'll see who is listening to the broadcast and follows race-winning advice from Christian Snyder.
Hey, championship winning material.
I stand.
Richard
Long
really
time
is
ago.
surprising me.
Long time
I thought
ago,
he
he
was
was
pushing a
champion.
lot harder,
Of course.
and he's
But you
obviously
see,
okay.
It doesn't matter. It's like winning the Daytona
he's
500, like Derek Cope.
Keeping up and
You
catching
can go
me,
on
so...
and race for 25 years afterwards if you just win that.
I've
Daytona
never been
500
great
once.
at Charlotte. I mean, I've won a
Won
couple
the
official
championship
races here, but that's not
over in,
necessarily saying
Nora.
much.
And as
Yeah.
a result, forever, you know, you've got all of that sponsorship money and gnomes to help you out. It's a great arrangement they have.
Yeah, and you mentioned Daytona 500. I actually won an iRacing official Daytona 500 in the NIS series, so I guess, you know, I know how to get around.
That's some special stuff. That definitely, I didn't know that. That elevates Christian Snyder in my books just that much more. I didn't know there was that much more room to go, but knowing that you've done some official stuff and won that level is pretty exciting. Bill Hales back here in 11th place. There's a lot of racing going on here.
Gavin, I'm
Bill
pitting
on
next
back
time.
As we are working our way through stage number 1, getting very close to that first round of green flag stops, assuming it will be green flag stops, coming up here very shortly.
You know, I'm looking at, I believe that's the 96 of Patenko using that outside lane. It's not working as much as it was earlier. So I do like this new system. He's going
I'm gonna do 9.1.
up ground there.
Yeah, you can see Hales in front, able to actually exit better on the low line. than
Five
Hawk
pitting,
was
five
on
pitting.
on the high line.
How about it? This new update, I'm liking it. Look at that.
I got a black flag.
Does big old crossover
Yeah.
move. Uses that
Oh,
low
almost
line.
I got a
hit.
black.
I saw
Oh,
that.
goodness.
I'm not asking for it to clear, just announcing
I
it.
think Hawk thought a little late to try to come down and cover him, and wow, Hawk really not feeling it so much in the car anymore.
Yeah.
He's starting to slide backwards.
He is struggling a lot.
Damn
right
it.
now with that
It
car.
was so close.
The 22 Ford for Hawk.
Man, that was the
Started
closest to
out.
not speeding
Got some
I've ever
people
been
coming in.
getting caught speeding.
Yes,
God
we
damn
do.
it.
Buzzio, Wolffer, Pooler, Hernandez, and Renner all now into
Fuck
the
me, man.
pits. So we await some of these drivers to exit pit road here momentarily, but that
Oh, I
leaves
see some rights going up, and no one taking fuel only so far.
Gavin
Everyone-
Rogers now pulling it into the pits. Now we
I wonder if he'll take fuel only, because everyone else took 4.
Nicholas Renner off pit
What a
road.
Oh man, that was scary there for Rogers. He was coming in as everyone was coming out. He had to slow down to avoid getting hit.
Back up at the front. This is the guy who came in on lap number 16, Matthew Porter. He takes over the lead right now. Dustin Stallings, Bill Hales, Evan Patinko now pull their machines down onto pit road.
How about this? A little bit of strategy there, maybe inadvertent. Ronnie Norman, second place. I think he's got enough fuel to make it, so he might be able to get some stage points to salvage a good finish.
Well, that would be miraculous indeed. We'll see if he has the pace to maintain it. Jared Hughes is 1.56 seconds back.
Stupid son of a bitch.
Gap. Hughes also coming in on lap 16. So
God
Hughes
damn it.
should
I probably won't even get the lucky dog.
I would say.
It's going to be very close.
It will be really close. It's going to be very close. And possibly we might see Ronnie Norman kind of pedal it if he thinks this is going to stay green.
Well, we know he watches, so my advice would be start using that clutch.
How
there, buddy.
stupid, dude.
Back in the days of when the drivers could talk to each other, maybe
All those
he's got
stage
that
points,
system.
motherfucker.
Of course he does. Of course he does. We've all got that system now, but of course in real life racing you can't do that, but you can certainly here in sim racing. And Ronnie's definitely a guy who knows his strategy. He made the great call last week to come in under a yellow flag that was thrown in the third and final stage, and he took on tires and fuel, and that ended up being the race-winning strategy call. And as a result, he was in control at the end when others were starting to run out of gas and having to pit late. Ronnie Norman stayed out there and took the win, and as a result has that 10-point lead coming in here tonight. The Armed Forces 400, but he sits in second place right now. Matthew Porter sitting in the top spot. Porter started in sixth place. Right now has gained 5 positions. Jared Hughes is about 2.1 seconds back from Ronnie Norman right now. He started in second, but Hughes actually having a really good night so far. He did get involved in that earlier incident, but again, a lot of these drivers that had to come in for that incident, they put themselves into a good spot as far as having the tires and fuel to potentially make it to the stage break. So,
you know who else is in a good spot? I think I'm correct in saying Gavin Rogers. I don't think he took 4 tires because he's got 4 seconds over Polar, so he might have taken fuel only.
He did not. He took his 8.9 seconds in the box and 5.95 seconds for Jeff Barefoot. So I'm thinking Barefoot didn't take any tires. He just took fuel.
Yeah, I think even with 8.9 seconds, that's still probably a fuel only. He just put too much fuel in. So I think Barefoot, he put the minimum that he could to get to the stage, and Rogers put a little bit more fuel in, but looks like Rogers is catching up to Barefoot as we see Hughes now into the pits here with about 10 to go in the stage here.
10 remaining in the stage for Matthew Porter. Can he hang on? Does he have enough fuel to make it? As Hughes starts to fall down through the order, down to 7th place. And
Oh, I'm 2 laps down. Oh, that's good.
Track. Ronnie Norman in second, Borbell in
That's-
third. Gavin
that's good
Rogers
news.
now up into that 4th spot. Again, not taking tires, perhaps just waiting and planning to come in during the stage break to take those tires.
It looks like Porter is clutching it. I don't know if he is or not, but it definitely looks like he's way off the pace.
Well, we'll listen in here and see whether or not he does that at the end of the straight.
I didn't even think I was pushing it, dude. It just
backing out a lot.
snuck
right
up
there.
on me so quick.
Indeed, you see Renner going by there on the high side, unlapping himself.
Yeah, part of that's the tires, but also the fuel saving. So, tires not super important, but definitely.
Yeah, I think that.
Probably about a second and a half.
Yeah, I think it's the
quicker
right call.
with 4 fresh tires.
Well, Ronnie Norman is catching him rapidly right now. I guess a good idea would be for us to put that track map up there so you can kind of follow along. Just find your favorite driver on the right-hand side by noticing where their initials are.
And even with that damage, he's still good at saving tires and having the car at the end of runs. Here he comes. He's already only 3/10 behind.
You can see how that gap has fallen in that graph on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, and he has
That's
arrived.
in 5 laps.
Indeed.
Where is the leader?
He has arrived on the
Yeah,
scene.
3 seconds
on the
in 5
outside.
laps. My goodness.
He's going to use that outside line. I'm sure we've seen that plenty of times here on virtualracing.network, but Ronnie Norman back into the lead
This sucks, bro.
in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, and for the first time here tonight in the Armed Forces 400. Now he's got to survive about another 6 laps in order to be able to make it to the stage break. We'll see whether he has to start pedaling it. But the next closest driver behind Quarter would be Stephen Borbell. And Borbell came in on lap number 16 as well. So Gavin Rogers then another 9 seconds back of there. Ronnie could kind of just take his foot out a bit if he needs a little bit of extra fuel. No sweat. He's got all kinds of time to give.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here with strategy, and you know, sometimes it does come down to
Yeah, I
strategy.
know, I'm fucked.
Just because you have a severely damaged car doesn't mean you're completely out of it. And Ronnie's proving that right now.
Well, Ronnie Norman continues, but we've got some drivers racing side by side for points. This is Pooler and Rogers right now fighting for 4th place. This is on the front straightaway. See Rogers on the outside, Pooler on the inside in the blue.
Yeah, you can see just how much better that inside lane is through 1 and 2. A lot more grip down there right now. It looks like the outside just has a little bit too much heat in it. Of course, Polar might have gotten tires, whereas Rogers didn't. That could be another possibility here.
Definitely always a possibility. Pooler did 15 seconds in the box, so Pooler right now with the better tires able to take over that spot. In fact, Wolsifer now taking over the spot from Gavin Rogers, and these are valuable points that Rogers is now losing in this first stage. As we get to the conclusion of this stage here, Rogers going to be kicking himself maybe a little bit that he didn't take those tires.
Well, this strategy that he's on, saving those tires, is definitely a winning strategy. He's looking for the long haul of it. For the end of the race, he wants to have those to almost essentially guarantee him a win with those 4 fresh tires in the pits. So where it hurts you, it benefits you later.
Well, something else to
I
keep
thought
in
I
mind,
had this
Norman
great
did not take
strategy and
tires
all
when
this
he came
and
in.
saving my tires.
5.97 seconds in the box, so he still has the same number of tires as Gavin Rogers if it comes down to a final shootout. But Ronnie Norman here about to take the victory in the first stage if he can hold on until that yellow comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm big time
Will,
fucked.
in fact, be your stage 1 victor, with Matthew Porter in second, Stephen Borbell in third, Carl Pooler in 4th, and Richard Wolsifer in 5th place. And it's normally the flag would have been thrown. There it is as he completes.
Yeah, completion is 75 there.
As he completes that 75th lap. And Quarter has to bring it down.
All you guys are gonna be caught a lap down. I'm stuck 2 laps
that's
down.
gonna be a
Man,
penalty.
what a
That's gonna
costly
be a,
penalty, man. I was
end of
running
the line
second.
penalty
All those
for him
stage
for
points,
pitting
that
when pits are
blows.
closed.
Well,
He's out of fuel completely. There's no power in that thing.
I just didn't even
Might
think I
need
was
to get a
pushing
push
it.
into the
Like, I thought it
box.
was being cautious, and I probably wasn't
If he
aggressive
doesn't
enough on the
stop
brakes.
right,
Like,
he's
I
gonna
guess
have
I
to
don't know,
reset.
man.
Oh man, he's gonna have to get towed, and that's about a 3-minute tow probably. Oh, this is detrimental.
Yeah, if I was just a lap or two down, I wouldn't be worried about it. There's a ton of cars trapped a lap down, though, so it's going to be real hard for me to get those back.
Help push him to his box.
A little busy, I guess they were, you know?
Yeah. Well, Ronnie Norman takes the win here in stage number 1. We're going to step aside for just a moment here on virtualracing.network. You won't want to go anywhere. Still got 2 more great stages of racing to come. And we're going to step aside and hear from Sundance Pizza, or actually take a look at Sundance Pizza's
He ran out of fuel
in Wickenburg, Arizona, in case you're hungry.
He just said he ran
tuned.
out of
We'll be
fuel,
right back.
so I'm not going to punish him for running out of fuel. Oh, wait. It cycled out for me to be a lap down. Somehow. How did that cycle out like that? So I should be able to pit here and be okay, right?
Welcome back here.
I'm going. It doesn't matter.
Network. Apologize for those of you looking for yummy pizza on your screen, and that was the Buttkicker ad for the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Either way, you can't eat them, but you can use them. Buttkicker's great for your sim rig. Make sure to head over to Buttkicker today and check it out and see what it can do for you. Always proud presenting sponsor here, and I believe Christian, we're going to get a chance to chat with.
Nope, now I'm 2 down again. It
stage
wouldn't have mattered.
winner,
I needed tires.
Norman.
Yeah, Ronnie, it's Christian and Trevor up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, boys. What's up?
Well, we thought you were out of it as soon as you got involved in that wreck, but you came back and you won this stage. So tell us how you were able to manage.
See, that's
that one.
weird. I thought that was going to keep all of
Yeah,
the 3 of us on
magic
1
there.
down, not 2. That was really odd. I'm
I
not sure why I did that.
I was able to. I came down and topped off, and it just. I just had to save, I think, 5 laps or something like that. So I just rode around in the back, was praying that stage went green, and it did, and I just saved my tires and just rode around. And
Yeah, could you? Because I think
I just needed to flip.
I
and
think
get
the
back up
3
in
guys
lead
I
and
just went
out
down
of the
pit
back
road
pack,
with.
so hopefully we
I don't
get
know,
that
Rev,
worked
you
out
figure it
and,
out, but it's
get
marking
another
us all.
stage win here. But
The
yeah,
3
no,
of
that
us down as 2
was
again.
wild. I was happy it went green, and definitely worked out in my favor.
Well, did you have a fast repair to repair that car? Because
Choosing this
it
time,
looked
guys,
absolutely
choosing this
destroyed,
time.
And now it looks absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I had to use my fast repair on lap 20, unfortunately. And it's for a long race like this, you don't want to use it that early. But I was killed. I honestly thought during that wreck was when it was happening, I thought I could floor it and get around the top when I seen it coming together, and unfortunately overcorrected right up into me. So it is what it is, and you know, can't really complain. I back up here up in the front.
That's what I mean. It had us marked as, instead of keeping us 2 down,
Here, what lane you taking? What do you
it
think
then
throughout the
showed us
night
as
is
1
gonna be
down
the best
before we
lane
went
for
into the
results?
pits, and it let us pit.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not
with everybody
first,
else.
so
I don't know.
I got to try to see
I got-
who's going
you-
where. But if anything, I'd probably just choose a low line.
I thought
just
we
'cause
should have
you don't
all
get
cycled
low
back
in
to being a
one,
lap down
going into
because
one,
nobody
so
got a
probably
wave around
I'd
there.
probably do that unless you got teammates.
And the new update with the track, how's it feeling out there? Is it the outside or inside lane that's going to be working best here tonight?
I don't really know. I ain't really ran hard to really.
Rev, is this something we need to
decide
delay
what
it
I
for
need to
you
run
to
at. I've
review it, or do you think
saving
this is
fuel
right?
the whole race, honestly, so it'll be kind of weird to actually race a little bit right now. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see what what it'll be like. But yeah, no, I've just been clutching this whole race pretty much. So I really have no idea, honestly.
All right, well, good luck the rest of the night, and hopefully we see you out there in the podium at the end of this one.
All right, thank you.
God damn it!
So that was Ronnie Norman. He took the
That
first stage
blows.
victory,
I did
but
not
of
know
course,
anybody was going to stay out.
It's now going to be
I would have just fucking stayed out.
Going to line up here in the top spot to get us started once again. And got a big fan in Ashley Pooler out there rooting on Carl Pooler and Limitless Racing. Great to have them with us.
Yeah, a
here
bunch of
tonight.
us got the raw end of that, man.
Carl and the
Speaking
team.
of fans, I haven't heard Steven Dombrowski's name mentioned yet. Is he hanging around in there? Or?
I have not heard from him, but that doesn't mean he's not watching it at work, even though his boss tells him not to.
Yeah, he's got that fan. He's the leader of the Ronnie Norman fan club, so you would think he'd be here. Maybe he's actually at the track, you know, up in the stands. Maybe that's why.
I'm gonna drive up there and do my best to get my lap back the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I didn't know, buddy. I didn't mean to cause you any headache there.
Carl Pooler gonna jump out to an early lead. Wilsifer in second. Ronnie Norman in.
Yeah,
third
I think they
place.
probably did that on purpose to hold half the field a lap down.
Renner now coming through the field.
It's a
Trying to go under.
yeah, no, yeah.
And Norman now
I can't
moves up
fault him
into
for it. I
second
just
place.
that
Renner
sucks.
ducks up behind Ronnie Norman as Wilsifer stays on that low line. Norman holds the high line.
You
Christian.
got to remember, Renner was very quick in the short run earlier, got up to the lead. So we got to see if he gets back up there too early again, or if he's going to save his stuff a little bit better this time.
That is, I mean, I think this oval refresh is going to throw a lot of people for the loop,
Yeah.
but still, the whole idea of not going up there and necessarily wearing out your car. But Renner did have to come forward a bit from where he was trapped back there not so long ago. So anytime you got to do that, you got to go through a bunch of cars. There, he's blinking out a little bit.
That's always scary. if
We're
you're a car
tires
behind,
be
you just
damned.
no
It doesn't
reason
matter
to
at this point. We're
reappear.
gonna try to get this back the old-fashioned way. Hope we get ahead of the
All
leader.
side-by-side
Hope a
action
yellow
back
comes
there,
out.
56 and the 2.
Right, Wilsifer and
And
Borbell. Borbell trying to take over that 5th spot.
I'm telling you, that helmet's giving him bad luck. Just got to get it changed.
Kevin Rogers now down to the low line on Renner, and Rogers up into 3rd, and Ronnie Norman takes his move. His full send esports Toyota now back up into the lead here at Charlotte.
Damn it! I was charging as hard as I
The
could
fast
to
repair
try to
is-
get
it
ahead of
turned
the
race around
leaders.
For him. What would have been absolute disaster for him.
Damn it!
He's back up front here. And
I
back
got
in
stuck
control of
there.
this
Now I'm gonna
race.
have to go all the way to the
That's
back
really big
again.
for points because he came in 10 ahead. He got the stage win. Now he's out here leading laps.
Well, Christian, we've got some contact back here. It's
Oh,
Dustin
man.
Stallings, and
I believe that was Hawk. Oh, he got hit again. There.
I'm
Hawk did.
I'm
Oh,
fucked.
man.
There, I
Hawk
don't
got
see how I'm
two.
gonna get out of this hole.
several cars involved here.
Was that the one of Stearns?
Doesn't
I think
matter
that
if I'm
was
quick or
Stearns that
not.
got involved in that one.
Well, Buzzio is now shown down in 16th place. He's a couple of laps off. I don't know what happened there, but that's
He
interesting.
got a speeding penalty.
He definitely could have, but did he have to serve that under the green flag? That would have been extremely costly. Let's jump back here and see what Stallings went through. This was a little bit further back.
I don't
in the
know, buddy.
back.
Yeah, you're going to see ahead of him the 95. He gets into the wall, and I think everyone just reacts to that here. So the 95 drifts up the track. He almost
Now
gets
they
into the
fucking
wall,
pit. Yeah,
but then you
great.
see the
Awesome.
22 come down and
Super
hit the
cool.
10. And that's where that kind of started here.
Yeah, I think the 22 was just trying to come down the track and avoid.
Yeah.
Renner.
Look at Buzzio. He went the whole way through the grass there, but and then you can see the one, I think that was.
Best
came
I can
in
hope
and
for
hit
is
him
4
there a
cautions
little
in a
bit.
row. Quick.
He hit Hawk down there on the bottom.
Well, thanks to Sundance Pizzas for these onboard cameras. Get a look at this replay.
We're gonna try
here
to
of
pull out a
Dustin Stallings
strategy
and what you
here.
saw.
9 gallons gave us
Stars and
25
stripes there on the
laps.
track, but that's not how you want to see him. And then you're right, he gets that
we
right
take-
brake punched in.
That's probably 35, 45.
So
Yeah, he didn't quite lock up the brakes enough and kind of let the car drift down into
150.
the traffic and got
We pit at like
absolutely blasted in the right
105.
rear.
see what the 95 saw as he went through this.
He was up ahead of it. He almost gets into the wall here, gets loose, Goes through the grass
That gave
here
us
a little
25
bit. He gets
laps.
put 3 wide, and the wreck happens.
That should
behind
give
him,
us
but that was a good
35.
save there by Nicholas Renner. I believe it was the one car of Stearns that had a significant amount of damage there.
But it's going to take longer to fuel, so it's worth only
The
taking
wave
2
back
tires.
here, as you can see.
Yeah, there's the wreck happening.
It's got to be a
Here
middle
he comes
ground.
through it.
16 gives us
Oh,
50,
man. Gets
so
right
9
into
gives
the
us
22 there.
25.
Definitely hits Hawk.
Yeah, I couldn't
10
see who
gives
the
us
person
35.
was that hit Stallings. Could have been, maybe.
How about Quarter?
Could have been.
Quarter is
Yeah.
now a couple of laps down. Ryder
Choosing this
Remnick
time,
now
I got to let
out of
everybody
this
by.
race with damage.
Well, remember, Quarter had to tow in pit road, so that's why he's so far back now. But oh man.
He also made contact.
So, God,
Yeah,
that's so
I don't know
frustrating.
if he knew that there was a wreck happening, but he didn't check up and just hit the 53 there a little bit.
This is what Buzzio saw.
Yeah, he goes way down through the grass. He sees that contact, he pulls way left.
It should give us about 40 laps.
Well, we jump back out.
So we're
to the
gonna
live
pit
picture here as the
at
sun
110.
fades in the
We're
sky.
going to try to undercut people.
Lights are on at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You're watching.
We might as well
Armed
take 4
Forces
tires at that
400.
point, though.
We're just into the second
No,
stage.
every
and
second
caution
helps.
has
We're going to
just
take
come out
2.
to interrupt the flow of this race.
We're going to hope for the best. We
Ronnie
got to
Norman
try something.
Took the first stage on fuel strategy after an early incident, and was able
Yeah,
to
I always do. Why?
get all the fuel he needed to make it to the end of the stage. And I was just about to
I've
say
been
before that
noticing odd
caution
things the
came
whole
out,
race, but I
know,
can't
early on in this
pinpoint
broadcast, I
exactly what they
mentioned
are.
if there's 2 drivers that we might want to watch being
Well, my
first and
relative, this is
second,
what
it
through
could
me
be Ronnie
off.
Norman
So if
against
my
Ben
relative
Rogers,
would have
and
said
there's some unfinished
-2,
business between these 2.
even if
And I know
Carl
that,
didn't pit, I would
Ronnie,
have stayed out and got the wave
know,
around.
I
But it
mean,
said -1.
It's these great.
So I thought I was a lap down from the way it cycled,
that
but
drivers use.
I
sometimes,
wasn't.
To control races, etc. That a lot of the drivers that maybe
It's-
themselves in the past,
and
have
it's
used
not
these maneuvers, they don't
unfair,
like it
or
when
like
it's
I'm
used
not
on them,
trying to,
especially when
you know what I
teams are
mean, but
winning. And
I could have,
you know, at the
I
same
could have
time,
survived
it's a gray
until
level,
that
or
next
it's a
yellow
gray
on those
area
old tires and
where
only be a
the
lap
league
down.
isn't gonna
That's
penalize it because
what's really
it's
frustrating.
not officially against the rules. Iracing doesn't penalize it because it's not blocking.
I don't know. I think it's a
se.
positioning thing.
That's what I was going to bring up. I mean, I wasn't there for it, but I heard about it afterwards. From what I heard, there's nothing that he did wrong. It was just something that, you know, it's the way that this sim works. If you can use the dirty air to your advantage, then I mean that's what you got to do.
We're gonna pit on like
whatever it takes to
115.
come out on top is what you have to do, as long as it's within the rules. And you know, even his
yeah,
last
me
one,
me too.
at
It's
Daytona was a little
like I
bit
said, I'm only
controversial,
looking
so
at it. I'm glancing
he's
at
gotta
it, but
clean
it
up. You
seems
know,
like
the
every
controversy,
2 or 3 times I
for
glance
him
at it, there's something weird
winning
going on.
races, He's got to have one that's just, you know, clean and uncontroversial.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's easier said than done.
I guess.
You know, you're going to race this many laps. Something that you're going to do is going to be controversial, and you're racing hard for the lead. You know, tactics come into play, and yeah, I watch a lot of Formula One. Early in Max Verstappen's career, he did some stuff that other drivers didn't like, but it wasn't against the rules. It's one of those things, if there's an opportunity, you go for it, and if it's not against the rules, sometimes you go for it. But either way, we're ready to go for it here once again. Charlotte Motor Speedway, green flag is out from Barney the Flag Man. We're underway again on lap number 90.
Yeah, we are officially into the nighttime. Just a little bit left of the purple sky, but mostly dark out here. So the track's going to change now temperature-wise. As we see still too wide here between Iracing and Rogers, which Iracing, Full Send Esport, having a good run here with his teammate.
Yeah, Iracing giving a really great run to that Full Send Toyota. Right now sitting in third, Gavin up into that second spot just a moment ago, and now Gavin set the second sector fastest time of the evening. So as it gets cooler here, I believe we're going to start seeing faster and faster laps.
Yeah, the lap times will only keep coming down as the night goes on. The cooler the temps get here, and looks like we got a little bit of a side-by-side battle on back there. It looks like Buttkicker and Renner side-by-side here.
Buttkicker and
on the
Renner.
outside.
Yeah, it's Renner in that Lightning McQueen paint scheme, as you said. They're on the outside. Ka-chow, he says as he makes another pass.
I wonder if he yells that over the radio every time he makes a pass. Do you think we'll see him jump on the fence and use the fence like Lightning McQueen did?
I've seen stranger things in my time watching sim racing leagues. Very well could happen. But Renner pulls up into that 7th spot.
I'll stay up
While
here.
back here in 8th.
There's almost some contact back there, I believe, with Buttkicker and Hernandez. He got right on his bumper, almost turned him around, but now Hernandez is going to pull underneath him and take that spot from him.
It's risky, but I gotta try to get ahead of him and just hope we get a yellow.
Well, how about the last lap? 29.84 for Ronnie Norman, fastest lap of the race. So at the moment, fastest guy on track, and he's pulled out to 0.4 of a second lead on Gavin Rogers. And this is what he did last week. He started pulling out in the first stage, and then he even admitted it in the post-race interview that it was too much too early, and it cost him. So he undertook a different strategy at the end of the race, but we'll see whether or not it's too much. As we saw, Gavin made a huge push at the end of that first stage here tonight. He came through and took over the lead. So it almost seems like Gavin, this is his gameplay, where he might sort of meter out how much he attacks. It doesn't matter if he maybe loses a position or two. He's just trying to manage those tires and hold on until he can kind of pounce and cut his way back up into the lead.
Thank you.
Whether that's what the strategy is behind Rogers here tonight.
Well, with Rogers saving tires, the surprising thing is I'm guaranteeing you that Norman right now, he's saving tires, but he's just able to find speed even when he saves tires. I was racing against him in a Wednesday league, and he told me what to do, and I was doing it, and he was just driving around me like I was sitting still, and I was like, what? I thought you said save tires. He was like, I am.
Yeah.
Shows my talent level.
Been there. Yep. It's always enlightening when you think you've reached the top level of the sport to race with some really, really talented iRacers who they're just so competitive. They can do it with, they don't even practice sometimes. They don't even have the right setup in their car. They can just go out there and drive it and save tires and still win races. It's incredible what some of these guys can do behind the wheel. Ronnie Norman, though, he's one of those drivers who's really reached the peak. Christian, you were telling me he's been winning across the board this whole week.
Yeah, I think he won 3 races in a row across 3 different leagues. So he's going to be leaving iRacing in the middle of 2024. So he's making the absolute best of it before he has to retire from iRacing here soon.
Come on, yellow, right now. Right now, somebody fucking beat it. Somebody eat a giant bag of shit.
Long I've been racing with him, 10 years, and now he's going to be on the road, different state every night, pretty much living, so that is the dream, though.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts, but either way, our best wishes with him and whatever
Mine's
he
not.
decides to do, and such a treat
But
to be able to
it wouldn't help me if
cover
it
him.
was.
It was such a treat in Nora.
I only
of
got
course,
probably 5 or 6
cover
laps
him, and
before me pushing that hard's gonna
here
be the
to
end of it, so.
have him in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series and doing so well too. It's not a surprise, but it's just great to see that he's so competitive across all of these leagues.
I mean, it's not gonna matter. For this to work, I have to get a lap back this way. Like, if he passes me again, or if any, yeah.
That he's the best, even though he is always running for championships. Nicholas Renner, though, going up and touching the wall there. There are no, like, turbo strips up there on the wall if you touch it. So
Anybody's arm itchy?
He must have overheard. You know, I said get up on the fence. I didn't mean the wall, but you know. Oh, almost some contact there between Renner and Stallings.
Oh man, you should probably
Stallings
scratch
now
that.
falls back behind.
Oh man, Renner is so loose off of turn 4 there. It's going to allow Stallings to get back to his outside. Oh
my goodness. Renner now down on the inside of Hales. Hales a little slow through the corner. Looks like Stallings going to come up and punt him a little bit.
How about that? Bump drafting at Charlotte.
I mean, that was a punt. He just punted him into turn 3. Good on Hales for being able to handle that punt.
Well, this is a momentum track, so if you get out
God
of the
damn it
throttle,
all.
he would have probably lost more position, so just hitting him was a little bit better for him.
My goodness, this is some hot
Man, the one
heavy
time the
racing
Iracing
for
doesn't throw a
8th and
fucking
9th
yellow.
place here on the track. This is pretty crazy stuff. Patrick
Battle for the
Hernandez
lead
now.
also picking up too.
Indeed, that is closing in now. Just about.
Oh, my spotter said someone
yeah,
wrecked
it
in
is.
4.
Oh.
Never mind.
Hernandez up into the wall. Wolsifer runs him up there.
Oh,
I'm going to see more contact between these two. Hernandez says, okay, fine, I'll follow you into the corner if that's the way it's going to be.
Hernandez, he was really smart there. He backed out of it, let the 56 gather himself up. Now he's got to try to regather himself and get around Wolsifer there. I'm sure when Wolsifer goes back and watches this race, he's going to have a good laugh at how many attempts it took me to get his name.
You seem to be doing fine now. That's the main thing.
Real quick, how about Buzzio? He got his lap back the old-fashioned way. He went up there and passed Norman.
Well, he's still got to get another lap, but
Another
you're
lap,
absolutely right. That's just
Impressive.
that's the old-fashioned way of doing it. Just race the tires off that thing. But fortunately, I think I'm not sure who will be the first. I think
Yep,
it'll be
here he
Jared
comes.
Hughes
Yeah, Hughes will be the lucky dog. Yeah.
would be the lucky dog here. So Buzzio's got to hope that he can overtake Hughes here pretty soon and maybe get that lap back the easy way.
If a caution comes out, Buzzio could take a wave around and get back on the lead lap that way, but he would have to pit during stage 2 at some point under green. So he's hoping for a caution right now.
Come on,
so that
Iracing
he
gods.
can
I
get
needed
back
you to
on the
come
lead
through
lap,
for me
but it
one
looks like
time.
Norman reeling
One
it back
time,
in there.
man.
But Norman may just back off of it, save a little bit, and use him with a draft down the straightaway to save fuel a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this gap is closed. There's Gavin Rogers. He's on the scene.
Yeah.
Look inside. We may have a new leader here before very long. In fact, Gavin Rogers sends his Air Force's number 77 Air Force machine up into the lead. Gavin Rogers back in the lead here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, he may have National Guard as a sponsor, but Ronnie and Norman.
Does anybody have a fuel calculator, like a real one?
Right by.
I love the punt.
I'm going to try to undercut the other guys that are a lap down. I'm going to try to go in here in a couple laps.
It popped up out of nowhere, you know.
Well, I think it's cool that
What
we had
did
this on
9
course
give us? It gave us like
400, and
25
right now
laps,
it's got
right?
3 of the patriotic schemes in the top 3 positions.
You think
so
12 would be enough to give
certainly
me
given this sold-out
35
crowd here
laps?
At Charlotte Motor Speedway, something to cheer about.
Yeah, it should, right? Because that's only
Usually I
10 more
paint all
laps
the
than what
schemes for,
9 gave
my
us.
team, but I tell you what, Iracing, I did not paint this car. And it
All right, Gavin,
looks
I'm going to
really
pit
nice.
at the
I
end
love
of lap 110.
I'll take a wild guess in what either Mouse.
Oh, no, well, no, next lap. Sorry, I forgot I was 2 fucking laps down.
But certainly some solid paint schemes in the field here today.
All right, bud.
Gavin Rogers doing a solid job behind the wheel. Up into the top spot once again. Ronnie Norman in second place. Matthew Iracing in third. Stephen Borbell in fourth place at the moment. And Nicholas Renner has arrived in
5's
fifth.
pitting, 5's pitting.
And we've got some great racing happening here. This is Renner and Hales, Carl Pooler, Richard Wolsifer, and Patrick Hernandez all fighting for position. Patrick just a
Hales
little
was
bit further back.
Hales was a point leader at one point in this season so far, so he's trying to get as many points as he can to try
Come on,
to
God,
stay
give
in
me a
that
break here.
battle for the points. He
Please.
had a great points day at Daytona.
That's exactly right. He, even though Ronnie walked away with the win in Daytona, Hales ended up taking it on account of the points that he accrued over the stages. So it's a solid way of racing. I mean, I would love to win a championship not having won any races. That would be the coolest thing ever. I think people would get upset with me if that were the case, but
Hey, it's possible. Ryan Newman almost did it in real life.
That's right.
Finished second in the final standings with no wins.
Well, right now Renner is running on the high line. This is kind of scary stuff, but as long as you're not picking up
Yeah,
too
one
much
or two.
damage on your car, you can afford to go up there, run that high line. He may be looking for the advantage up there on that high line, like thinking if I go higher and higher up towards the wall, you know, he might be trying to feel out this oval refresh. But
I tell you what, there's a high line and then there's the Larson line, and that's he was running the Larson line that last lap. Look at that. He
Damn
is
it.
way up
Took
on that
too
top
much.
seam there.
Motherfucker.
or the Vincent Arthur line, as we like to call it here. Certainly, Renner.
I mean, not a
sitting in
ton
that
too
sixth
much.
spot.
Probably
Cooler now
one
looking
tick,
below
but that
line.
one tick
Renner
makes a
right
difference.
Up there, Christian, does it make you nervous to watch a
Oh,
guy
absolutely.
ride the wall like that?
Especially if you're like a team owner or a crew chief and you see your driver out there putting it right up against the fence. You're kind of like, hey, we need this car to come back to the shop in one piece. You mind just pulling it down like half a lane there, bud?
Well, as exciting as that battle is, we look back up here into the front, and Rogers and Norman have not really separated by much. Norman is still right there, about 2.5 tenths back, and keeping Gavin Rogers close while Erickson
You're good, buddy. Thank you.
has slipped back about 7 tenths of a second, and then Borbell back about another 4 tenths of a second from him.
This is all mind games at this point. You know, he's running right behind him, just making sure that Rogers knows, hey, I'm still here, bud. Just because you threw a helmet at me last week at Bristol doesn't mean nothing.
Shots were fired last week indeed. Some pit lane altercations.
I see you guys
Some
up there.
gnomes
Be
had to step
patient.
in and separate some drivers. You don't want to get those gnomes angry.
Yeah, we unfortunately had one get shattered. One of the gnomes, we had to glue them back together, unfortunately. Yeah, it got crazy.
Shattered.
Yeah.
Is it anything like the killer clowns from outer space where you punch their nose and then they explode?
If it's like that in your head, then yeah.
You don't want to know what's in
We
my
got
head.
green flag stops.
We do, and that's headed by Ronnie Norman and Matthew Erickson. Full Send Esports drivers communicating with one another.
Nick, you got to be
deciding
careful, buddy.
they're
That
going
you
to
washed up
pit
into him
ahead
a bunch.
of stage number 2. Now, why would you do this?
Flashbacks to last week, pitting early.
Well, yeah,
Gotta
but
control the front.
yeah, well, you're going to control the front for stage 3, but Christian, all those points up for grab for second stage. And Ronnie Norman and Erickson were right there in second and third place.
Well, everyone's going to have to pit before the stage, so these guys just doing it a little bit early and splitting it in half. And I don't know. I wasn't quite paying attention fully, but I don't think they took any tires.
We've got Norman 14.93 in the box and Erickson.
Hey, buddy.
14.80, so they
Yeah,
definitely
they definitely
did.
took tires, yeah.
Well, we'll see how this works out for him. Sometimes that undercut ability to get that little bit of an edge with your tires on Gavin Rogers. Gavin last lap 30.82, his best lap 29.82, so a full second slower. And we'll see whether the Next Level Motorsports team responds here, as they won't want to leave themselves
I'm working on it.
exposed. to this undercut strategy if they're planning to come in before the end of the stage, which, again,
What?
they came in on lap 77, and there has been some yellow.
Yeah, they would have to stretch it 70 laps. So they're definitely going to have to pit here within the next 10.
Yeah, so we're going to lap number 150 here. And this could be a great call for Ronnie Norman. It's going to be interesting because this early,
Probably. I had it there for a
as we
little
see
bit.
the
I was
Limitless Esports drivers
hoping I
responding.
would get that
Arturo
point at
Pulsifer
least.
coming in. Nicholas Renner, Patrick Hernandez now coming in as well.
I think at this point, Iracing may
I'll take outside.
second place whenever everything cycles out, because with them pitting so early, they're going to have those fresh tires, and they're setting rapid lap times right now compared to Gavin Rogers. So
God damn
I definitely
it.
think Norman and Iracing will be first and second, as long as Iracing
fucking
doesn't have
quit.
any trouble in pit road with like speeding penalty or anything.
Yeah, it's definitely. I agree with you because of the
Unreal.
undercut strategy. They are going to have the faster laps. In fact, right now, let's check in.
What a fucking joke.
Everybody is cycling around. Sixth place right now is Ronnie Norman, and there's a yellow flag, which will definitely allow Gavin Rogers and Stephen Borbell to come into the pits safely, but it will move Ronnie Norman.
I can't win.
Up to
It
the
might
front.
not actually. If you think about it, if Gavin is very low on fuel, he's still got to go around one more lap.
Who was
he
it?
Planning on pitting that next lap, he's got to clutch it and save fuel, because if he runs out on track,
Awesome.
that would be terrible.
Well,
there goes
let's
that
find out
hopeful
the
strategy
reason
too.
For this caution, I'm not entirely sure. Did you happen to see a reason?
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anyone rapidly dropping at all, but it did look like Iracing had
I think it
some
has.
trouble.
I don't know, buddy. I think it has to be
He
everybody.
is
I'm not
further
sure.
back.
If
one
you're
lap
not ahead of the
than he should be,
leaders-
so maybe it was him.
I don't know. Just Iracing will tell you. I'm sorry.
Thinking it could
I'm
be
all
Bill
butthurt right now.
Wills Who had a problem? Let's check this out. No,
He's in pit road.
he was in pit road.
Unless he spun out in pit road somehow.
Let's see if it was Iracing. It could very well have been Iracing.
That caution couldn't have came out a lap later.
Everything's still running fine here. No, caution's out, and
The
he's.
caution.
I don't see it on the back stretch, so it's somewhere on the front stretch here.
Renner? Hawk? Not really sure what brought out this. There was
Way to
no
go, Nick.
notes on anybody.
Glad you
Do
came
we
out
have a
raced.
Phantom caution here.
A
think we
debris
do.
caution? Is there a debris caution?
I think weather in the area. You know, a little sprinkle,
Well,
maybe.
That
We're
strategy
not
was going to
sure
work
what
too.
caused this caution.
No, it's just shot.
Perhaps I couldn't tell you, but is this going to where is Buzzio?
I was hoping for it. I had one more car to pass. I was right behind the leader, and I was about to pass him, and I would have got one of my laps back naturally.
This is messy.
Now I'm
There's a
just
couple
all
cars
dicked
in
up
front
and
of
off
the leader
cycle.
on the pace lap here.
Buzzio is in front, right there on your screen, so he's going to get a chance. Eric Hawk also there. Jared Hughes is going to get a waiver.
Nobody's thanking you, Nick. Everyone's
Barefoot
frustrated.
Will not. I don't believe. Is he in front of Rogers?
I believe at the time of caution, Ronnie Norman
that's-
was the first car one lap down, so he'll get the lucky dog. Everyone
That's
else
good.
will get the wave around.
Well, this is going to move Ronnie Norman up into fourth. He's now on the lead lap with those fresh
Also-
tires and fuel, and Gavin Rogers did not come into the pits. So he must be confident to make it until the end. I don't know why you would not come into the pits. He's got to need fuel. Christian, do you have...
You got me. I'm questioning what happened, how everybody is where they are. I have no idea.
Well,
Cautions during those green flag pit stops are the worst. You just get so lost in everyone's positions.
well, either way, this is the way it's ordered unless they're having problems with timing and scoring, in which case Buzzio will be working hard on trying to get it all remedied here. But Rogers is in first.
Choosing this time, choosing this time,
second.
choosing this time.
Christopher Campbell in
Like right
third
now. Sorry, I could look
place.
for the late call out.
Stephen Borbell in fourth, and Ronnie Norman is your fifth place driver, as Gavin Rogers is now shown behind.
Yeah, these are all the cars that are taking the wave around, so he'll move up to the pace car once all these cars go by, so that's what it is. I was looking at the timing and I saw the 1 minute and 30 seconds and I was kind of confused on it, but these guys are all in front of the leader right now behind the pace car, so that's why the timing looks weird on your screen right now. At least they should be passing the pace car, maybe next lap.
Yeah, did they extend this caution? Well, Hawk got the wave around. Hughes has got the wave around.
Yeah, here they go. Now they're
Buzzio.
passing the pace car.
Porter. Maddox. Stallings is out of this race, and then
Actually,
now
I'm up
finally
here
Gavin
in the front.
lines up behind the pace
I don't
car.
know why.
This is going to move Christopher Campbell into second place. Evan Patinko in third. Stephen Borbell in fourth. Ronnie
Man, if I
Norman
could get ahead of
in
these
fifth.
guys.
I believe how they'll line up here, although is Norman the only one going to the low line? How does that work? Is he coming into the pits?
No, he's got Lucky Dog, so he's got to drop to the end of the line here. So I believe he's actually behind. Oh, no, he's coming back up and getting his spot. This is Iracing for you. That's the only thing we can chalk it up to.
Well, we're going
These
green.
guys are going back green here.
This is it. We're coming back green. Gavin Rogers will be leading us. Green flag
old
in the
tires
hands of
still.
Barney the Flagman, and he does have old tires, and he has not been into the pits. I take it
I wonder
back.
if he maybe missed.
He did come in on lap 124, so
Okay.
we must have been looking at something else while that happened. Here we go. Oh, we've got one around.
Oh, man. I think that's the 9 car. Yeah, that was Barefoot, I believe.
Jeff Barefoot, U.S. Air Force machine, and possibly some damage on that machine, but back up in front, Rogers, Patinko. Nope, Rogers did not take tires. 8.63 seconds in the box.
Stevie, you want me to do me a giant favor and hold Jeff down there for a second?
So, Evan Patinko, Stephen Borbell fighting it out now for second.
I need to get around
side
Jeff.
Side by side they go. There's Ronnie Norman closing in just behind.
Oh, shit.
Side
I'm
by
sorry.
side
I don't know
down
where
the
Jeff went. My bad.
straightaway in Charlotte.
Now I got around you too, which probably ain't gonna happen because my shit's
130,
old.
Excuse me. Got about 20 more laps to go until the end of our second
God, I've been
stage.
so close to making this work.
Look at this melee right here. 2 wide, 2 rows deep for the lead here. Looks like Borbell going to take it from Rogers, and now Norman getting underneath Rogers. He's going to take second, and here comes Buzzio too.
Wow.
Buzzio still, he's 2 laps down now.
Rogers under attack as those old tires start to show their age. Unbelievable that Rogers would decide to not take tires under that yellow. As a result, he's losing spaces and losing points in the second stage. But Borbell now at the front with that Dallas Cowboys helmet on.
You had to mention it. I put my hand over the screen whenever you pull that up. I don't want to see it. Especially after last night. But look at this. Here comes Norman on the outside of Borbell. He's an Indianapolis Colts fan. There he goes.
Well, certainly Norman getting that outside lane, working for him again. Pulls the full send esports machine back up there into the lead, and as a result, 2 laps running now. He set the fastest lap on the track, 29.66 seconds. Though, just as soon as I say that, Matthew Porter, way back in the field in 15th position, at 29.62. So, fastest lap going to Porter, but Ronnie Norman basically fastest guy on the track. Significantly faster than Borbell, 0.3 of a second last time by. So Borbell,
something happened to Hales. He's dropping like a rock right now.
He's in the pits.
Yeah, you can see heavy right side damage. He hit the wall pretty significantly, and he pulled down.
Well,
I believe he is calling it a night there.
This is, we'll take a look here at Bill Hales for Spirit Racing and see if we can figure out exactly what happened here.
Looks like you already got into it right there, possibly. Or we'll see if he hits it again or what happens here. But I saw him significantly start losing time in 3 and 4 here. Yep, just gets into the wall. And he waits, gets a clearing, pulls down, and he took it behind the wall.
Definite right side damage to Hale's machine, and as a result, he's hopped out of the cockpit. So, tough night for Hales, but not so tough for Roddy Norman. Things seem to be going his way right now. As we know, that's definitely no indications that's the way it's going to end up, but Norman having a pretty good night. Strategy kind of working out in his favor. Borbell in second. Patinko into that 3rd spot for Spirit Racing. Another one of those super patriotic paint schemes coming forward for Ford Performance as he drifts up the track and almost into Carl Pooler there.
That was Buzzio, actually.
Oh, that is Buzzio, you're right. Buzzio's still 2 laps down officially to the field.
Hey, Hughes is there too. He's 1 lap down. He's trying to stay in that lucky dog position with Hawk behind him, 4 cars back, battling him for that position.
It's all about strategy in these races. They're long races, and you know, Christian, put yourself into Buzzio's shoes. He may be 2 laps down, but that doesn't mean you're out. There's still a lot of potential chances to get that wave around. You just got to keep fighting.
Yeah, I've made a few people mad in my past whenever, you know, the day's not going good, you're 2 laps down, and you still want to race like you're on the lead lap. And, you know, I was battling for the lucky dog one time and took it 3 wide on the track you shouldn't and caused a massive pileup. So, I mean,
all that fucking
whenever you're a
practice,
lap
dude,
down,
for
your day's
nothing.
not good,
For
you're gonna race
nothing.
a little bit more aggressive. So Buzzio, he's doing a good job trying to get through the field. We saw him earlier past the leader to get the lead or get a lap back. So you kind of, the aggression goes up whenever you start getting into a bad position.
Certainly nothing to make more friends in a league than going out there and making everybody crash, and it being clearly your fault. But it happens. We all make mistakes. I took my own teammate out in a race once. That was completely unintentional. It was on a start.
Wait, you're not supposed to do that? I take Ronnie out all the time.
I mean, he was going for the championship too. It was just like, whoops, forgot about brakes there. Sorry about that. Took Ronnie out all the time. Oh my goodness. Well, it's great. You'll get a whole new crew of people to take out next year, Christian.
Yeah, we got a big team over there for Nora next season. Can't wait. And we're actually expanding over to other leagues. Obviously, we're here in this league now, and we got a Wednesday league that we're in, so we're expanding the team to different leagues.
Well, if you stay in Icon, that'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, we are staying in Icon, so we got 4 days out of the week that we're out there representing.
That's pretty cool. Cool stuff for see Full Send Esports spreading out and obviously getting wins in all of those leagues. So that's great news. Nicholas Renner here into 7th position. Boy, this guy has been up and down the track. He's been up and down the order. At one point he was up in the top 3. Now he's back here into 7th. And you see some more like side-by-side running just up in front. Oh, that's Buzzio. Indeed it is. Buzzio still trying to race to get that lap back, but look how close this has gotten here between Norman and Patinko, who's now taken over that second spot. Patinko on a flyer, now going to look to take over potentially the lead of this race from Ronnie Norman.
Oh, Borbell squeezed it on the outside of him. Oh my goodness. What a move. See if he can complete the pass using that outside lane. It's looking good so far. Let's see if he can carry the momentum. Looks like he will. As you can see, that car getting a little bit smaller in that rear view mirror. Here he comes. He's going to try crossing over. Patinko is. He's going to use that outside lane, see if he can get momentum. Oh, he gets into the wall. That's not how you get momentum.
We should clip that. Gets into the outside wall. That's not how you get momentum. Indeed. Rubbing off time on the wall is not the way to carry out a pass.
Well, speaking of pass, we got a pass for the lead. Borbell underneath Norman here. Norman going to try to defend using that outside lane. Let's see if he takes my advice and doesn't get into the wall. There you go. That's how you carry momentum. Leads that lap there in that 32 car. Borbell still underneath him though, still side by side. I think Norman will be able to defend this position using that outside lane. It's still there. It's still good for the momentum off the corners.
Well, just a few more laps away from the end of stage number 2. Borbell trying to get that win. That would be a huge shot in the arm to his championship to take the stage win here. But Norman wants to add to that points total. Evan Patinko now dips down to the low side on Ronnie Norman, and suddenly that outside line not absolutely dominant for Ronnie Norman.
Part of it could be because his tires are maybe slightly older than these guys, because he pits so early compared to everyone else. So now he's got those tires a little bit hot and maybe a little bit too hot.
Yeah, 7 laps difference in tire strategy between Borbell, Norman, and Patinko.
And now you see Norman changes it up. He's going to go down to the bottom and try to get some ground there on Borbell. Not going to work. I think Borbell's going to have this stage here. Look at him breaking the draft. He goes down to the middle lane there. He's going to run middle there through 3 and 4.
Is this stage?
You can see Patinko using the outside lane. He's going to get a run here on Norman. Let's see what he does with it. I think he's going to choose to just stay behind him here. So we're 2 to go in the stage here.
2 to go for Stephen Borbell. He's managed to pull quite a gap now on Ronnie Norman. The race is really on for second place. Norman and Patinko racing it out. 4 different teams represented in the top 4 right now between Borbell, Norman, Patinko, and Pooler. Hernandez hanging on in 5th place. He's one of the independents in the field, I believe. New entrant. Look here.
Yeah, I could have sworn I've raced with Patinko, or we've called his name in another league that we've covered, but I'm definitely familiar with him. I forget where from, though. Is he an icon?
Yes, he is, actually.
So yeah, that's where I know him from. But here we come to the end of the stage here. Norman going to defend the position. He's going to remain second place there. Caution comes out for the stage. Borbell is going to win it.
Borbell.
Cowboys helmet's working for him.
Indeed.
That'll be an interesting interview if we interview him here for winning that stage.
Well, Patrick Hernandez actually racing for Ghost Motorsports. Late entrant there. So with that, we're going to step aside here momentarily. And we'll be right back here on virtualracing.network with an interview with Stephen Borbell and also
I got 13 laps of fuel.
another
You think I stay
stage.
out and get a lap back and hope for a
It's gonna
yellow?
be all kinds
Or do
of
I
fireworks, I'm sure.
not do that?
It's been a great race so far. Stay tuned for the remainder of the Armed Forces 400 here on virtualracing.network.
Oh, great. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Jared Hughes stayed out, so I can't get my way around. Fantastic. Thanks, dude. Thanks. No one will be getting a wave around. I take that back. We might. I don't know. Jared, Rev, do you know the answer to that? Jared was a lap down. And was, but like me, Eric, Matthew, Brendan, we were behind him. But the leaders pitted. Will we get a wave around if we stay out? Yeah, I got you, Jared. Thanks. The lucky dog, but that shouldn't take away our wave around, right? I'm gonna risk it. I mean, I'm not gonna get anywhere else. So.
And welcome back live here on virtualracing.network. You did finally get a chance to see some of that great food happening out at Sundance Pizza. There's also ice cream there as well in Wickenburg, Arizona. Proud sponsor here. Oh, we've got somebody in the wall. That's Gavin. Is that Rogers? Who was that?
I don't have a choice.
That's Polar. Looks like maybe he locked up the brakes and snapped to the right there. We'll have to take a look at exactly what happened there.
We're going to check this out real quick before we get to our interview.
Yeah, it will. It should.
Oh, is he just going too fast? Well, let's back this up here.
Well, Steven, if you're not going to finish the race, you want to kill Ronnie, bring out a yellow real quick. That'd be fine.
Right. I can see our race controller here for the night.
I'm just saying.
He's
I'm
in
just
there,
saying.
in their channel
Never.
talking to him.
Kill Ronnie.
But we were going to have an interview with Borbell.
Kill Ronnie
I see
anyway.
that he's got a video icon here in Discord, so I think if I pull him, that shuts that off for him. So we'll let him stay in that room there and keep that on for himself.
Well, in the future then, Steven, if you want that interview, I guess we'll have to talk about how we can work that out with you. But
yeah, because I don't know if it would cut that off for him or you know, I'm just trying to be safe with that one.
yeah, that's good thinking. I would say pull in Carl Pooler. He just
I don't think he's
how
good to
is
talk
he-
to right now.
how is he still in third place after that?
Well, he got his position back, but I mean that car is torn up though. So
Definitely the right side, not going to be as straight as it was.
I mean you could pull him up, but I think he might not be too happy right now with himself.
Yeah, certainly Ashley Pooler, her heart just jumped in her throat.
Choosing this time. Choosing
watching
this time.
race.
Choosing this
Appreciate
time.
Everybody hanging out with us here on a fine Tuesday evening in the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're watching the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, as always, here Tuesday nights on virtualracing.network. I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined here by Christian Snyder, recently multiple race winning Christian Snyder, and champion over in another league that we've covered here on virtualracing.network. And back to
Yeah,
the
until I
cockpit
got a
this
pit.
next season, which should be exciting for everybody who's been watching live.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back behind the wheel. I'm probably going to start racing a little bit in January, but I decided to take December off. I had a little bit of a leg injury, so we're managing that, and we'll be back in January racing.
Well, of course, that's how this all started with you joining me in the booth. Was you had that leg injury, and then you were trying to rush it to get back into the cockpit and get back out in there into NORA. But fortunately for us here on virtualracing.network, kind of decided to take it a little bit easier and let it heal a little bit more. And as a result, we got your broadcasting commentary throughout the seasons, and here we are in a totally foreign league, getting to do more commentary.
Tighten it up here,
Great.
guys.
And the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series in its first season, doing a great job. Christian, great to have you here in the commentary booth.
Yeah, we'll be here with you as much as I can. You know, obviously I told you I believe Eldora will be the final race for me up here in the booth because Nora's going to be starting, and that's when I'll be heading over there. But you know, I wish I could stay over here longer, but RC duties over in Nora will be coming up. So,
of course, well, we'll enjoy it while it's here, but meantime, we're going to get this one going again.
Fuck yeah!
Green flag in Barney's hands and Borbell on the gas. Carl Pooler jumps up into that second spot.
yeah, it looks like Norman was sleeping a little bit there on the start.
No, not quite,
It's
but
getting late for him. I know he's got work in the morning. so
I
he's
get to
probably a
keep
little
my
tired.
one lap down though, and he'll get
We've
he'll
got
get the
one
lucky
round.
dog.
Oh, man.
I just
There's
have
still
to hope
round.
for a caution.
No caution though. They're still straight. Oh, now there's a caution.
I believe it might have been
Wolsifer,
Wolsifer.
No, there was no way for me to get around
Everyone
Eric
else got
because
Nico,
the wreck
so-
happened right in front of us.
Nico is still there.
I still need a little bit of luck. It's not I'm not back in it yet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was involved in one earlier. He had that front end smashed up, used his quick repair, and now he's got even more damage here.
Well, we jump overhead. Let's check this one out. Oh,
Oh.
Wolsifer just shoots to the right, and Patinko tries to avoid
Same
and goes
thing.
to the left. What the heck is going on there?
That I have never in my time on iRacing ever seen a car snap that way.
Let's watch from on board. Maybe you can give us a little bit more of an idea.
It was on the straightaway. Oh. So he got loose out of the corner, but the optics of it from above, it didn't look like he got loose at all. It just looked like he turned right. Well, he definitely broke a toe link. You can tell that.
Yeah.
He is pulling hard to the left in order to keep that car turning.
Well, I don't know if he used up his early fast repair.
I'll take one.
But this
Just
would be
one.
his chance to
One's
do
fine.
so. It's Patinko.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got loose, but it did.
He might have been
Patinko.
right on
Hey, guys,
the edge. Patinko did, and when Wolsifer
Guys, I just want to
got
say I know it's
loose,
been a long race,
correcting
more
the
yellows
track, and
than
that
we're used to in this league,
that
but
little
everyone's doing a
bit
great
was
job.
enough.
Stay
Full
with it here.
tires. You know, everybody just got fresh tires, so either way, those two come through, and we're gonna.
Oh
take
no! If I'm being
momentary break
biased,
here
go out
once
there and kill each
again
other and get a yellow. But you know,
on the network, and we will be right back. You can see more of that delicious pizza and subs and onion rings and all kinds of good stuff over at Sundance Pizza. We'll be right back.
I love Patrick so much. I feel you, man. I sped. I'd say I can't remember the last time I got a speeding penalty, but it was about an hour and a half ago, so. Yeah, Carl does that. Carl, apologize. Choosing this time.
And welcome back here on virtualracing.network. watching the Armed Forces 400. And currently, your leader is Stephen Borbell. But it's been an interesting race. Ronnie Norman took the very first stage victory. Borbell taking the second stage victory. And right now, Borbell in the lead. Gavin Rogers, one of the favorites, has been up and down in the order.
I think the smart thing here is to just back out of it and hope these guys wreck here. It's not. I'm not gonna pass you guys. I'm not gonna drive past the whole field and get a lap back.
Hernandez for Ghost Motorsports now up into that third spot, up 12 positions. Christopher Campbell up
So
12
close.
positions as
Need
well.
one more,
in the
man.
fourth spot. And Matthew Iracing for Full Send Esports qualified 7th, currently sitting in that 7th position. Excuse me, now back into 8th. But it's been a very interesting race, Christian. Is this kind of how you thought it might develop here with some of these drivers?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
I
they
knew
might be.
strategy was going to come into play, but I didn't think it would be this big of a difference between like 4 different strategies going on at a time. But something to note, I was looking at Borbell's scheme, and I guess he was having trouble deciding which company or which branch of the military he wanted to have on his car. He's got Navy on the left, the Army on the middle of the car, and if we can see the right side of the car down on the bottom of the screen there, that's Air Force on the right side of his car.
Well, I guess he wants to support most of the
Chose all of them.
Yeah. When in doubt.
Why not, you know?
Absolutely. Whereas Ronnie Norman sticking with the National Guard. Of course, National Guard so well represented in NASCAR so many years. Now, Stephen Borbell going to lead us back to the green flag. Ronnie Norman on the outside. Norman a little bit slow to react. Patrick Hernandez going to get a good look on the inside on Norman. Coming into turn number 1, is it going to be Hernandez or Norman? Hernandez inches ahead. Looks like Hernandez going to take that lead, or that second place.
Well, for the moment, because Norman just had a whole bunch of momentum off of turn 2 there, and he's looking like he might be able to clear him. Oh, he had to get out of the throttle there, got a little loose. Good catch there by Norman, but it looked like on back in the field, 2 other cars got into the wall. Not so lucky at catching their cars.
Oh, and
Oh,
there
Renner gets into the wall.
How many times have we said that tonight?
Well, he's trying to find that turbo that you were talking about against the wall there. It's still not working.
Oh my goodness. Gavin Rogers now taking a look on the low side on Renner. Now he's going to move that 77 Ford back into the top 5, now up into the 4th spot. But here comes Renner back on the outside. Is that outside lane starting to come back in? As we're watching Ronnie Norman now take a look back down on the low side on Hernandez.
Almost dead even there at the line. Looked like Hernandez had him a little bit. Norman gonna drive it in deep in through turns 1 and 2. He's gonna take that position there. It looks like the inside through 1 and 2 is where to be. 3 and 4, not quite sure. I believe the inside's still the place to be right now at this point in the race. Maybe in the late stage of the run, maybe you want to go to the outside, but right now it's bottom all the way.
Hernandez still holding on to 3rd, but here comes Nicholas Renner on his heels, and Renner with that Lightning McQueen paint scheme, very kind of unpredictable. He's been able to charge through the field. He's also gone up and tagged the wall a few times.
Rev, hey Rev, I need you to come into our voice chat when you have a minute.
Goes down and touches that blue line, and yeah.
Oh no, Gavin Rogers involved in this one.
Gavin Rogers and Nicholas Renner.
Is that Nick's fault?
Involved Renner backwards on the track. Is he going to hit Rogers again?
I need you to go. I can't do it
Oh,
right now,
my
so I need you to
goodness
go.
me.
If
This
he's in
is
Discord
quite
and
the
you tell him
turn
if he
of
has one more
events
fucking incident, he's
here
parked.
in the third and final stage.
You don't have to
Dark
tell him
versus
it's from you. You can
400.
tell him it's from me.
Christian, why don't you talk us through this one and what happened?
He's been driving over his head
Gavin
all night.
Rogers and Nicholas Renner.
Renner
That's it.
got on
At
the
least
paint
3 or
way too
4
much,
incidents
you know,
he's
I
been
talked
in.
about it in qualifying. You can get on the paint a little bit, and it can help the car turn if you're tight. But when you have a
I don't
want
want
to
call it out
that,
over the
getting
radio
on
and be an
paint way
asshole
too
about it.
long
So
is going to send you around, and that's exactly what happened here to Renner. And then gets into Gavin Rogers, and he almost hit him again whenever he doesn't hold his brakes against the outside wall. Comes down the track and almost gets into him again here. So right now he should be locking up the brakes, but he comes off the wall, back into it. Still not on the brakes. And he almost comes down right into Rogers there.
lucky dog
I
high,
don't
lucky
know
dog
when
high.
this, it should be, you know, I say it every time that I see it. You gotta hold the brakes whenever you wreck. You got to.
Well, and Adam Buzzio got a first row view of of Renner going backwards down the track. So let's take a look at this one. And there's not much to see. Renner gets loose on the low line, comes up and hits. Second in points, Gavin Rogers.
I'm sorry,
he's
man.
A little unpredictable. I think he kind of surprised himself, Nicholas Renner did on that one. He's currently sitting in the pits. Now, one more look here as Adam Buzzio cruised into this one.
Big checkup going into 3.
Trying to pick and choose which lane to go in to avoid Renner backing down the track, which is not exactly a preferred way for drivers to go. Now, on the subject of Adam Buzzio being a lap down, would you guess at where he's at right now?
Yeah, you got the lucky dog. He's back on the lead lap here. He's been working at it all night, it seemed, and finally he's back within the lead lap.
Is that what happened? He got loose.
Well, I'm pretty sure some others are veterans in this field, but Adam is one who listed it on his bio. It doesn't say which branch he served in, but certainly we appreciate his service. And Idea Lease and Tri Vista, of course, helping to sponsor the league and always running on the car. But this
3 minutes is brutal, dude.
special with the Warriors paint scheme on there, and now it looks like Adam going to pull it down into the pits now that he's gotten that lap back. He's going to refresh everything and get a good shot at
I can't
the end of this
believe
race. Now about 70
all those stupid strategy calls I made worked out.
laps left to go.
That's
in this one.
insane.
Wait, what am I looking at?
Oh man.
I can't believe
Way
it.
off.
Hey, I'm not
I can't
gonna judge.
believe
I'm looking at
that.
the wrong screen.
I don't know. I must have
we
made
got
6
We got about
weird
95.
strategy
95
calls
laps. Yeah.
since I sped, and I
Yeah,
cannot
this one.
believe that it worked out.
But at 95 laps, if it goes green until the end, that's pretty much giving yourself a perfect pit strategy.
The iRacing
more
gods just
stops,
usually aren't on my side.
you can
That's
pull it
all.
off.
And they really weren't.
Well, for Buzzio, yeah, but a couple
Made me
of
do that
these
shit the
guys
hard
that,
way.
Didn't pit under this caution. They're going to have to pit with about 60 to go and save fuel. They're going to have to hope for a couple more cautions.
Well, and those guys would be Stephen Borbell, Carl Pooler,
Choosing
and
this time.
Richard Wolsifer, as well as Nicholas Renner, who did not come in. And yeah, out of the top group, that's the guys who didn't. Now, in the pit box,
Rev, what's longest line?
it's amazing. I show a minute and 12 seconds.
Looking like
for
top.
second place driver Carl Pooler in the pit box, but I don't know how that's possible. Maybe our
All right, looks like the
scoring is
top.
messed up. But I'll tell you what, Wolsifer. Let's see, of the guys who came in, Norman did not take
Oh,
tires.
wow. Speaking of Norman, he just took the front row. They just gave it to him.
No, you didn't get penalized. Well, actually,
There's
yeah,
another
you should.
strategy move. But I was just going to say,
Oh, then yes.
Norman did not take tires.
Yeah, then you need to be at the end of the longest.
Just fuel. Hernandez did not take tires. A number of these drivers did
It
not
says
take
stay behind.
tires
I was the
on
lucky
that
dog.
stop. So
Yeah, and they're saving that set in case there's a caution late. It's a good call because they didn't have too many laps between their last stop and this one, so they should be okay until they get to about 50 to go, and that's when the pit window will open, and that's when I think we'll see a lot of people.
Thank you,
duck
Rev.
off, around 50 to 45 to go.
Well, we're about to come back to the green flag here. It's been a beautiful night here in Charlotte Motor Speedway. So far, it's been all Ronnie Norman and Stephen Borbell, but there's been some interesting other drivers up there. You would expect Gavin Rogers. Gavin just got involved in an incident, but he's still on the lead lap.
Yeah, he probably used his fast repair for that one, I'm sure, and he should have a perfectly healthy car now.
Here's Borbell, and you see the right side of his car with the USAF logo. Army on the hood and Navy on the left side. Got it all covered here tonight. But you see for second place, Carl Pooler managing to get a good run, and he gets around Ronnie Norman. Norman been a little bit slow on these starts. He's gotten, he's lost positions on these starts the last few restarts.
Yeah, he hasn't been one of the best at restarting. Even in his time in Nora, his biggest struggle was restarts. So that's an area of his craft that he's got to work on for the rest of the season, is just getting the timing right. But it's so hard when you're that second car because you can't go faster than the leader or else you get black flagged. So you can't really predict it and get a jump, because if you do and you go like 3 miles per hour faster than the leader, you get a black flag. So it's so difficult when you're that second car.
Well, let's talk about some key strategy here. I mean, it's anyone's guess as to whether we go green flag or not. We've had some really great long green flag runs. But if you're Stephen Borbell right now, you took the second stage, you're racing up there for Next Level Motorsports. What are you thinking about right now? Is it just about managing those tires over the long run? Are you trying to set yourself up thinking that there might be a late race caution? What kind of strategy would you employ if you're Borbell?
Well, you're going to have to hope for a caution because he's going to have to pit before 50 to go, and that's going to be very tough to save that much fuel. We saw, I believe, 60 or 61 laps that Norman saved, but he said he was clutching the entire race up to that point. So you have to really save if you're going to save 60 laps. So we'll see what Borbell is able to pull off. Maybe he gets a caution, gets a break, and is able to pit, but we'll have to find out here as we see Rogers kind of moving up through the field here. He went from 12th on that restart. He's now up to 9th. Car does look fine, so it appears he did use that quick repair.
Well, and he did not take tires on his last stop, but he did just set the fastest lap of the race at a 29:53. That's what you see there in the purple lap. So still a lot of fight left in Rogers, despite being back in the field a little bit. Might we see him arrive back at the front before long? Renner and Hughes now fighting it out for that 9th position. Take a look back here at the second place battle. Pooler and Norman now fighting for that second spot.
You can see Hernandez kind of hanging around this battle here, just kind of pulling behind them in that 4th spot. Not too far back, Wolsifer and Iracing as well, but now Rogers starting to catch up to Iracing. But it looks like Borbell just kind of steadily keeping that half a second lead currently, not pushing his tires too hard.
No, it looks like Borbell seems to gain in 1 and 2, and then he seems to lose it in 3 and 4. It's been consistent the last few laps. Now we've got Gavin Rogers moving up, though, into 6th spot. And here he goes looking. Oh, it's Matthew Iracing manages to fight him back for that 6th spot. Now they're exchanging positions, and now Nicholas Renner gets into the middle of this. And
yeah,
Matthew
he
Iracing
almost
back
got into the back of Iracing. Iracing had to jump high to avoid Renner from getting into his left rear quarter panel. Renner, he's still having trouble with that car. It's getting loose on him. He can't quite get it down to the bottom on entry there. He almost gets into the 56 there of Wolsifer. That car is definitely a handful there for Renner.
Renner down on that
Here
paint
we
stripe
go.
again. I know
He's
that
able to
there's a
keep it
lot
straight
of
that time.
there's a lot of time to be had by going down and using that paint. I know that there's a lot of grip on that paint, but you can't use too much, which is what you've said before.
Yeah, if you just touch it a little bit, it gets the car to turn a little bit more. So if you got a tight handling car, it's good to get down there, grab the paint a little bit. I think most famously Kevin Harvick, he runs that and he gets on the paint more than anybody else, and that's what Renner's doing. But it can hurt you too if you get on it too long, and we saw that happen. But good rebound for Renner after just wrecking that last caution.
Certainly, and a good rebound for Eric Hawk as well. He's been involved in an incident earlier on and still sticking around in the top 10 of 10 positions so far. But look at this guy, Gavin Rogers, now up into 4th, taking that position away from Patrick Hernandez, who's actually sliding backwards in a hurry. And here comes Nicholas Renner, hot on the heels of Rogers.
Yeah, he's going to follow in line with Rogers there, using the bottom. Sometimes whenever you're that close to a car, you like to just move like half a lane higher, half a lane lower, whatever it takes to get some clean air to the nose, but he followed him directly in line in that corner, and you can see now Wolsifer, he's going underneath Hernandez, so Hernandez struggling a little bit and losing a couple positions in these last 3 laps here.
Well, Stephen Borbell so far has been the class of the 3rd stage here tonight. Ronnie Norman been holding on in 2nd place. You know, Borbell is up there in the championship as well, so he has a very good chance if he can finish in the top couple of positions here tonight. He has a very good chance of walking out of here in that top 2 or 3. I know he had a lot of points to gain to get up to Gavin Rogers, but he's made up a lot of points in these stages, so it'll be interesting to see next week where everything is at. In the meantime, hot and heavy racing here in the mid-pack. From 5th on back, Nicholas Renner is up there in front in the red car, but Patrick Hernandez, Eric Hawk now up into 7th place. Richard Wolsifer trying to fight it out. And Adam Buzzio there in 9th place. All these cars are just within a short throw of each other.
Well, I love the dedication that Hernandez has to running that outside lane, as now he does run the bottom here, but I was about to mention, I think the inside lane is where it's at right now. I think that outside has given up, and it's time to move down the track. You can see, I think he realized that because of losing so many positions running that outside, he's changed it up, went down to the bottom, but now you can see it looks like Rogers has caught Carl Poehler here for 3rd place. Let's see if Rogers is able to get around him here. He's going to work the bottom. He's got a really good run. He's underneath him. Oh, almost contact.
Very close racing right now between these drivers. Poehler and Rogers fighting to try to stay in podium contention is Poehler, and Gavin Rogers says, I need a shot not only at Norman, but I want to try to take this race win and try and get very close. He'd be close to getting back into the championship lead, but Norman did pull out a lot of points in the last stage, so we'll have to see.
Let's not forget, just a little while ago, Poehler, under caution, had a heavy hit into the outside wall. He's kind of rebounded from that. He got his fast repair, and he's back up in the top 5, so good rebound for him for that.
Yeah, solid effort from a lot of these drivers to utilize that fast repair strategically. It may sound, like a cheat or something. It's so easy to do. You just go into the pits, they fix your car, but you get a total of one. So you really have to pick and choose when you want to use it. Sometimes it's, you have to use it. You don't have any choice, but sometimes it's just for a little bit of damage, and you say to yourself, okay, I will be better off if I come in, utilize my fast repair right now because I'll be faster. And it's not an easy strategy to employ, especially if you have to do it early on like Ronnie Norman did. Here we go. Christian, it's been coming. Gavin Rogers has the fast car, and the car that he has to get by next is Ronnie Norman.
Yeah, his best friend, they sit down to dinner every time before the races. They're great friends out here.
Absolutely. I understand they have a friendly hand signal that they give each other on the track, back and forth.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that they went and got rental cars and wrecked them on the beach, and that was their way of smoothing things over. But of course, that's a reference to Days of Thunder for those that have watched that. But side by side now, Rogers got underneath them. There he goes.
Rogers underneath. Norman gives him a very wide berth, allows Rogers to take that position, realizes there's no sense fighting at this point.
I think Norman realizes he's got to save a little bit of fuel and a little bit of tires for the end here, because the less fuel you take in the box is going to be a quicker stop. Where most guys are going to have like 15 twos, 15 threes getting full tank of fuel. Ronnie could get a little bit less by saving this and make that stop about a 14.7, 14.6. So that's possibly what Ronnie's doing here.
Well, this is going to be very interesting to see how this all shakes out.
I don't know why, but that scared the shit out of me as soon as you
We'll
talked.
get that track map up there on the screen so you can find where your favorite driver is racing right now. But
Yeah, we should have a few of those green flag stops within the next couple of laps here. By around like 2:05,
Go, boys.
we should see
Get a
lot of
1-2.
the guys coming in that didn't pit that last caution. They're going to have to pit here very soon.
Well, Stephen Borbell was in on lap number 152 as Gavin Rogers goes for that lead, and he gets it. So Rogers back into the lead here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's starting to look pretty familiar, Christian. Gavin Rogers working his way up to the front. Borbell, of course, his teammate over there at Next Level Motorsports. So it's not like he didn't know that it was coming.
Yeah, Borbell, Norman, and I believe Polar all on older tires than Rogers, because when he got involved in that wreck, he took 4 tires. So he's got the freshest tires on the field, I believe.
Buzzio, I was just looking. Buzzio came in on 168 with a lot of these drivers, but he was the only one to take tires.
And that's why he just moved past Renner there. He's into 6th now. He's trying to work underneath Hernandez now for 5th. So yeah, he is making use of those tires.
He might have really just been hanging on to those tires this whole stage for the most part.
Oh man, he had to get out of the throttle a lot there because Hernandez pinched him there. Now he goes into the turf there. I'm not sure if he knew, but that is not part of the racetrack.
If you can drive on it, it's part of the racetrack, Christian.
Hey, that's the Dale Earnhardt way,
Whatever's
The famous
fastest.
pass in the grass happened here.
Absolutely.
Which I never understood because it wasn't a pass. He just got bumped from behind and saved it and kept the lead.
It sounds
He's
much
down
better.
there again.
It sounds much better passing the grass. Well, maybe it got him the position. I don't know.
Maybe it's cooling off those left side tires, getting into that turf a little bit. It cools off the left side tires.
I heard that iRacing's been trying to fix that, but I don't know if it's on every single car. And this would be one of the few tracks where you get that opportunity because of the D shape in the oval that you actually get to clip the grass. See Renner
Yeah.
still clipping out there a little bit.
Well, with this track, it's not grass for that section. It's just turf. The infield part is still grass, but that section was made turf because of the road course. So it is not real grass. Interesting little tidbit there.
It is very interesting. Not real grass. The more you learn. That's why we have Christian Snyder here, is because he brings this wealth of great knowledge of all of these tracks. NASCAR racing. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
one
wish-
of the reasons.
Yeah, I wish they would go to synthetic turf at a lot of these tracks, because you see, like, after a heavy rain the day before, the grass is still wet, and then you see things like what happened to Chris Buescher I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when he flipped in the grass multiple times. It was because the car dug into the grass.
Right.
I know a lot of these drivers, they don't like the grass, but iRacing, it doesn't affect you that as much as in real life, so you can kind of slide through it no matter what.
Well, Buzzio has now moved his car up into the top 5 on the subject.
I guess not.
Of course, that was the big factor at California Speedway. I know it was probably before your time, Christian, but California Speedway back in the day when Greg Moore was tragically killed out there, they actually had grass in turn 1 and 2. I'm hearing a car going around out there.
Patrick, good friggin' battle, man. That was awesome.
Oh, keep it off the wall.
That's not how
Saves
you arrive at your pit stall. I know it looks cool to come in four-wheel drifting to your pit stall, but he's
Oh,
still
no.
having problems. Is this going to bring out a yellow?
God, my fucking wrist.
He hit a bump there, it looked like, on the exit road there, and it just sent his car sideways, but he's going to get back going now. He's got to be careful. He can't...
I've never worked so
Go
hard
off
for a
the
5th
track
place
too,
finish
right?
in my life.
To back it up a little bit further. Let's check this out.
Does he have help here?
Oh, he does.
He does.
I heard him say
That was Renner.
"Ka-chow" just as he was working his way through. Unfortunately, I didn't get to it until too late with the camera. Let's see if we can check it out. He kind of comes
That's
up the track onto Gavin. I mean onto
Yeah.
Renner. There's no place for Renner to go.
Yeah, that's a... Uh-oh. Not a ka-chow.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. It just snapped on him once he started getting back into the throttle there, but he's in pit road now getting repairs and getting 4 fresh tires. A little bit early for him, but he's going to have to save fuel the rest of this one.
Meanwhile, Gavin Rogers still circulating out there in the lead. 1.4 seconds up on Ronnie Norman. Stephen Borbell still holding on to that 3rd spot. And Carl Pooler very close behind in 4th. Patrick Hernandez not ready to give up that 5th spot. He and Adam Buzzio racing it out hot and heavy into the really nice patriotic paint schemes in the field to salute the armed forces here tonight. And Buzzio manages to pull back out into that 5th spot.
I'll tell you what, they weren't kidding when they said this would be a long race. Very glad that they moved it back a half hour. It's already 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. This has been a long one here tonight.
It has indeed. And they were talking about moving it another half an hour further forward, but they didn't get enough positive responses, so they just kind of split the difference. But I am certainly very thankful that they did move it up a half an hour, and also thankful that I'm in the Central time zone.
Very lucky on that.
I'm in Florida, but we're not all in the Eastern Standard Time.
Really?
That's true.
I never knew that.
You would
So
think.
you're up in like the, what do they call that? The Panhandle?
Panhandle. That's right.
Yeah.
We're over here just in the narrow part. And we get hurricanes, and we have beautiful weather in white sand beaches.
Why?
Really lovely. You should come down sometime. What's your weather like there, Christian?
we got 4 inches of snow right now, and everything's freezing outside. So
Yeah, it's supposed to get down.
Not very nice.
It's supposed to get down to freezing here tonight, but you know, in the 50s and 60s during the day.
It's 25 degrees out here, but yeah, it's definitely tanning weather. I should get a tan tomorrow.
Hey, in Pennsylvania, you take what you can get. I hear ya. Went for a nice walk today. It was beautiful. Got the
went for a nice slide today.
Did you? That sounds like fun. Oh my goodness. Well, in Charlotte, North Carolina, there's no snow right now, at least virtually. There's no snow. There's only beautiful racing weather, and we have a sold-out crowd as usual. Been told that Steven Dombrowski is up in the stands somewhere, which is interesting. Be interested to know which seat is his.
Well, I'm looking down right now outside the window here, up in our amazing booth with the gourmet buffet behind us.
Yeah.
I'm looking down there. I can see him turning around and waving to us. So he's down there to your right over there.
Well, that's just the best. Though he ought to talk to us next time. We'll get him special tickets.
I know you could have been sitting up here with us in the booth having some tofu and whatever else is up here. Some burgers, I think I see sliders.
Having some tofu. Yes, that's what we have in our VIP suite. Just tofu and crackers. It's getting late, folks. But I'm so glad that you're still with us here live on virtualracing.network. Cranking down the laps. Just got about not that many more laps to go, about 40 laps to go. And we will be seeing who will take this victory. Now the question is, are we going to have a late race caution that would dramatically affect the outcome of this race? Will someone decide to take that undercut? Ronnie Norman did it before.
Well, here's Borbell taking the undercut, but he's pitting with 54 laps to go. That's a little outside the window.
Yeah, if they get the caution, he could kind of hang out there, but then if he get a green-white checkered, he'd be hung out. Ronnie Norman pretty much in the best place to make a call like that. If Gavin Rogers decides to come in, Ronnie's probably going to have to respond within a lap.
Yeah, right now, Gavin Rogers, his strategy, although it was kind of forced on him, is working to his favor. He had to pit whenever he was involved in that wreck, get 4 fresh tires, but that allowed him to go out here and get the lead because everyone else didn't take any tires. So it's kind of best case scenario for him getting involved in that one. And now Norman, Polar, Hernandez, they're all behind, and they're going to have to do something in order to get ahead of Rogers. But Rogers is just going to pit whenever the first person does, just so that he can defend that lead.
Well, he's got to make a call pretty soon, because as we're cranking through the laps now, let's see, he came in on 168. I mean, he's got to be getting close. You know he's going to take it as far as it'll go, but we've had 1 caution since then, I believe. So maybe until lap 220. 220, 221 might be when we would see them. Richard Wolsifer coming in right now. And in
this is when it's open here. This is open to making it to the end. You just got to save a little bit this lap, but this next lap, you shouldn't have to save at all. It should be full throttle to the end. So we'll see who chooses to come in. It looks like Polar and Buzzio coming in. Looks like Hughes also coming in.
Yeah, if you take a look at the lap times right now, you'll see why. Last lap, 30 seconds for Stephen Borbell and 31 seconds for Gavin Rogers. It's that simple. Drivers like Nicholas Renner, 31.91. So some of these drivers really starting to suffer on these older tires. And as a result, Borbell almost 2 seconds a lap faster than Renner, who's sitting in 6th place.
Hernandez into the pits there, top one of the top 3 drivers now pitting, so this may cause Norman and Rogers to react there. Eric Hawk also coming in.
Yeah, I would be watching Hernandez. He's been a fast driver. If he's making it in, then certainly he might be somebody who's worth responding to. But Gavin does not seem to be in such a rush. And Ronnie Norman and Matthew Iracing, although separated by 13 seconds, teammates now sitting in second and third.
And them staying out this long may be because they're trying to catch a caution. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Rogers and Norman are on the same strategy. It's just that Norman didn't take any tires.
Well, as a result, though, Borbell...
Oh, Rogers is in.
Oh, Rogers does come in. Okay, so... Oh, and a yellow comes out.
Oh, my goodness. You have got to be kidding me. Now, the smart thing... Oh, no, Gavin, don't do that. The smarter thing would have been to not pull into the box. If Norman's able to get around this track fast enough, that could put Gavin Rogers a lap down. He's got to hope that he can get out there quick enough. Norman is flying around trying to get him a lap down. Oh, he beat him out. Wow. I didn't think he was going to get his service done in time, but he was able to, and that's going to allow him to stay on the lead lap, it looks like.
Just
So he'll
barely.
pull back by him here. Yep, there he goes. He's going by him. I
Well-
knew Norman was going to try flying around the track to get him a lap down, but it did not work, and Rogers is going to be on the lead lap. So Norman, Iracing, Renner, they're all going to pit here, and your
Did that
leader
hurt you, Gavin?
for
Or
this restart is going to be Rogers.
Well,
What a crazy turn of events.
We're going to take a momentary break here on virtualracing.network. We will be back with you momentarily as Ronnie Norman, Matthew Iracing decide to pit. And you won't want to miss it. This is going to be one heck of an end to this race. Stay tuned here on virtualracing.network.
if you're the lucky dog, yeah, you get to pit. I only have one right side left because I was doing that off strategy shit. Patrick, all of us that get wave rounds will have to go to the end of the longest line. I think I'm going to get waved around here. Yeah, everybody up front here. Me, Carl, Patrick, Richard, Eric, we should all get wave rounds, I think. Almost, buddy. Choosing this time, choosing this time. It's only... What do we have left? What? Really? No. No, there should be an hour and 23 minutes left. Yeah. I did a 5-hour session. It goes till 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12:30. No, hour 25 minutes, 28 seconds. Yeah, you're all jacked up, buddy. Yeah, we got till 12:30. I gave, usually it's a 4-hour session. We would only have 23 minutes if I didn't increase it by an hour. I don't know, man, you're all fucked up. Fair. You would think, in theory. Yeah. Yeah, you'll actually have to... I think you'll stay ahead of us, though. All right, brother. Thank you so much for your help.
And welcome back here on virtualracing.network. It's the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series Armed Forces 400 from Charlotte. I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined here in the booth by Christian Snyder, and Gavin Rogers is in the lead.
What the hell, man?
But I'll tell you what, Christian, guess who else pitted under that caution, took tires? Ronnie Norman, and they start side by side. Matthew Iracing, Ronnie's teammate, going to be starting right behind him. Are we going to see fireworks here before the end? Who is it going to be that's going to take the win? We're about to find out here on virtualracing.network as the green flag is out and we're underway again.
Oh.
Gavin Rogers, one heck of a start.
There was almost a wreck at the back.
I've got engine damage now. God damn it.
This broke up the entire front right there. My goodness. Oh, Iracing.
Somebody just didn't fucking go,
Almost
and
around.
everybody hit each other, and I ran into the back of somebody.
Side almost too much for him to handle. Back up at the front though, easy first lap for Gavin Rogers. This is the part where he drops the hammer and
I just went 3 wide.
in his
I don't
review
ever
as
do
he
that,
cruises to
and it
victory.
worked.
Or will someone else have something to say about it? Ronnie Norman in second place. Does he have the speed to chase down Gavin over the long run? This might have been a long race, but it is coming down to the finale here very quickly.
Yeah, we're under 40 laps to go here, and everyone's in position that they can get a good finish for the most part. You know, a couple guys have had some tough breaks, Quarter, Maddox, but at one point Maddox was 20th, 5 laps down, and now due to all the wrecks that happened, he's found himself in the 13th position. So good rebound there for Maddox.
Yeah, and you know, in a championship, it's just all about continuing to fight. Just try to get as many positions in a long race like this as you
I don't know who that yellow benefited, but it sure as shit wasn't me. I lost
may not
4
be able to
spots.
Get all those laps back, but if other drivers
And I got
drop
damage
down
now.
and drop out, you'll pick up a spot or two, and you never know, you might find yourself in a battle with somebody on your same lap. Hey, that's the sector 2 time that time for Ronnie Norman as he starts to claw back into this lead of Gavin Rogers.
This is going to get interesting between these two. You know, I haven't seen Gavin Rogers race enough, but I don't know how good he is at saving tires. It looks like he's already backing it down and saving tires, so this is going to be a good battle the whole way for this long run. I don't know who's going to pull away and who's going to be stronger toward the end of the run, but we know that these two are going to be racing like this the entire season.
Personal best lap last time for Ronnie Norman. As he closes in, it's just 1/10 of a second. Just a car length now between himself and Gavin Rogers. Toyota versus Ford. He's going to go to the high line on Gavin Rogers. Here comes Ronnie Norman. Stormin' Norman back up into the lead at Charlotte.
Oh boy, here we go.
Will we see the chrome horn materialize here in this race? Will one of these drivers be shown the early way out of this race? Oh,
contact.
We see some contact there on corner entry, and Norman and Rogers going to fight it out here with just 35 laps remaining.
You know who's loving seeing that ahead of him is Borbell. He's seeing them bang doors and battle side by side. It's going to allow him to catch up a little bit.
Norman and Rogers battling it out like it's the last lap, and as you said, Borbell now has a chance at it as he's now just about a second back, but will he be able to hang with the pace of these two out front? Norman able to take over that lead once and for all. We'll see whether or not Rogers makes another attempt on him.
Well, now Norman is going to be mirror driving the rest of this race. He's going to come down, take the line, give him the dirty air, just like he was doing at Bristol last week. He's going to control the race.
Really needed a good restart there. That just fucking killed me. That's ridiculous.
Racing in this day and age, it's all about aerodynamics with this car.
Well, this is about the view that Ronnie would have in his sim cockpit, and there you can see in that rear view mirror, you're always watching to see where your competition is at.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate. He's pretty tall, so he would be right about at the top of the bars there. So this is a pretty accurate camera.
Well, I'm 6 foot tall, and I tend to be, a lot of race car drivers are, 5'6", 5'5", 5'7". I'm 6 foot, so I'm one of those guys who in an open cockpit car, my helmet sticks up a ways up to the roll hoop, or in one of these machines, I might get close to the roof line. But, always you got to raise the view up a couple of inches so it replicates what it would be like in real life.
Yeah, he, I believe, is 6'2" or 6'3", I think. So he's tall.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, believe it or not, you know how over in Nora, Josh Conover, he races in real life. He's 6'6" or 6'7", and he races those little midgets.
That's amazing. Yeah, he looks tall in his photos for sure. I just never really stopped to ask him that question, but
he towers over me. That's scary.
Interesting. How tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Well,
he towers over me.
We're all so tall. Maybe that's why we're not real life racing drivers.
Well, yeah, we'll go with that. Money could be my issue, but
Well, we've got one heck of a battle happening here between Ronnie Norman and Gavin Rogers. I think Gavin keeps trying to take a look into the corner, but Ronnie kind of drives in sort of middle groove and then drives it down a little bit, which, a little bit later entry, which allows him to close off Gavin Rogers. Gavin tries to get in a little bit lower on entry, but he can't seem to get enough of a run right now on Ronnie Norman to try to take that position back. Now, this is exactly what Ronnie did in the last race. He took over the lead, and then he started to slow the pace down a little bit, much to the chagrin of Gavin Rogers. Now, we've got this race going on a little bit further back here. This is Matthew Iracing, Carl Pooler, side by side. Pooler trying to get up there into the top 5 and take the position away from Ronnie Norman's teammate, Matthew Iracing.
Iracing doing a good job so far with that outside lane, holding that position. Maybe the outside's starting to come back a little bit here, but now you see Polar, he's going to pull away a little bit on the bottom, just like maybe a bumper ahead of Iracing now.
And Buzzio following closely, trying to decide which lane he wants to ride in, kind of middle of the lane now. Buzzio, what an amazing comeback effort tonight able to recover a couple of laps at least. I know at least 2 laps and get back onto the lead lap. And as a result, he's now running in 7th place. And here he's going to dive down to the low side on Matthew Iracing. Is he going to have enough of a push to get the position? So far, the answer is yes. And I don't know who it was at the line, but right now, these two fighting hard.
And there's still no change up front, so we're just staying with this battle since it's side by side. They're still just kind of blocking each other up front, but it looks like Buzzio, he got a little bit too much of the paint, got a little loose, had to get out of the throttle, and now here comes Iracing again on the outside. With a good run, he might clear him this time, and he does.
Solid move from Iracing on that outside lane to hold on and stay up into 6th position. Buzzio doing everything he can to make the most of tonight, possibly trying to break into that top 5. There's Patrick Hernandez, who's now crept back into the picture in 8th place. And of course, he was running up in the top 4 area for quite a while. I wonder if he was just saving tires, and now he's going to try to make his way forward.
That's very possible, and we can see a car up ahead of these guys that's battling with everybody. He's not in the picture. That's Maddox, but you got to give it to him. If he was on the lead lap, he would be in 4th place right now. So this is a really good drive here for Brendan Maddox in that 33 car. As you see, Polar is going to get around him here and try to pull away from this lap car here.
Well, I remember he got involved in one of those early incidents, and I think he sat on pit road for some time. And he's like 5 laps down now, I believe. But as you said, if he hadn't, this is a preview in how well he might have raced. He gets a little bit out of the way of everybody right now. But Buzzio and Iracing still racing for that 6th spot, side by side. Patrick Hernandez right in the middle of it. Now Hernandez looks to the low side on Buzzio. He'll take that position for Buzzio. So Buzzio back to 8th and Hernandez up to 7th. Now he'll set his sights, Hernandez will, on Iracing. Both of these drivers like to run that high line, so we'll see who can manage to edge each other out. Hernandez going to go to the low side now. And he'll take
looks
that
like
position.
Things are tightening up front.
This is it. I was looking just as you said that. It came down in a hurry. It was up to 0.3 of a second, and now it's back down to nose to tail as we've got coming up to 20 laps to go. And here comes Gavin Rogers down the inside into turn number 3. Is this going to be the decisive move of the race? With Rogers now poking his nose underneath Ronnie Norman. And at the line, it will be Rogers who will lead, but Ronnie Norman still hangs on the outside of the track. They stay side by side down the back stretch. The crowd no longer in their seats. They are up and cheering on these two drivers who have been, going at it all night. These guys have had a difficult race on their hands all night long. And if Ronnie Norman was tired before, Christian, I mean...
I think the adrenaline woke him up a little bit now.
He's having to put some extra work in here to close this one out. But, I mean, when you got your arch rival in the series and you're racing side by side with him, this is the stuff that racing dreams are made of right here.
How many laps do you think these guys can do this side by side every single lap? This is the 4th lap in a row, side by side at the line.
Well,
Norman has been in the lead the last 2.
It hasn't allowed Borbell to really close up. He is closing up a little bit now, but 2.7 seconds back to Borbell in third.
Norman slid high. He slid too high in that corner. Now he's going to cross him over, though. And now they're just going to switch. They're still going to be side by side, but they're going to switch lanes. Oh, Norman, he got a little too hard in the corner, had to get out of the throttle. That's going to give Gavin Rogers the lead.
Yeah, and I don't think Norman likes to run that low line nearly as
No, we
much
got
as in the high line.
it'll be 16
Yeah, he likes running the middle to high line most of the time, but the inside, it's not terrible for him. He has found some speed down there at other tracks, but tonight he's been kind of a high side guy, so we'll see how he can rebound. But Borbell back here in third, he's got Renner behind him, about a half a second behind him, and having a good run there for that number 2 car.
Indeed.
And I just realized there is a smiley face on the front of the Lightning McQueen car.
We like to have fun sim racing, don't we? Nicholas Renner having a good race there in 4th place.
That
He
restart
dropped a
just
position
killed us
before he
back here.
qualified, but
Anybody that was
in
from
one of
like
these
7th
types
or
of
8th back
races,
just
you
got
just
screwed.
gotta be happy to finish and end up in the top 10 and top 5. It's a solid race to end up in 4th place if he can finish there. But of course, should we get a late race caution, which is a possibility, it could really change everything here. I don't know that that's what we're going to get. I'd like to finish it under green. I think a lot of these racers would, but hey, it is what it is. Sometimes that's when it happens. So we'll keep an eye on that. Carl Pooler back here in 5th place. He's got Patrick Hernandez just behind him. But Pooler's been basically in the top 5 all night. He's been as high as the top 2, but now he's drifted back to 5th. He qualified in 4th place. Hernandez back here looking at Pooler, and I don't know, maybe he's got the speed to get up there and crack the top 5, but Hernandez, they'll be able to get just a few more points at the end of this race. We get back here to 10th place, Christopher Campbell. He's kind of running a little bit on his own right now, but solid run, 6 positions gained. Great race for Campbell.
Speaking of great race, the front has gotten tighter. They're back within a tenth of each other here. It looks like Ronnie is just using that outside lane a little bit and gets a huge run on the exit of these corners. And then he'll close down to about a tenth of a second, and then he'll open it back up to 2/10 by using that outside lane. So you see it's going down to 2, and now that he's on the bottom here, you can see it's closing in. So he's just trying to build that run to get by him here as we're 11 laps to go. But these guys are just battling so tough for the past, what is it now, probably 20 laps that these two have been battling?
Yeah, at least 20 laps now as we've got 11 to go. And I tell you,
Oh, look at the run.
big run as he goes in the entry. He goes very high, and then he's doing a very late apex through the corner, and it is really working to his advantage. Although it looked like Gavin got a little bit better of him in the mid corner there, and he was able to pull out a little bit better. Wow, Rogers really solid in that mid corner, but good run off for Norman, though that lead has now stretched back to 3/10. So now Norman going to cross over and come in for the early entry into turn 3.
Well, Rogers is giving him a little taste of his own medicine from last week. He moved up the track when he saw Ronnie using that outside lane, so that's going to force him to now use the bottom, and now you can see Rogers going to go to the bottom, Norman going to go to the top. He's trying to just get clean air to that nose, and that allowed Rogers to now pull away to half a second. Let's see if Norman can reel him back in, or if it's too late here for the 32.
Indeed, it might be too late, but we'll keep an eye on that battle. Hernandez to the high side on
Well, we'll
Fuller.
teach you, brother.
Under 10 laps to go. It'll be 7 the next time around. Hernandez
Just don't ask me for pit road advice.
just not quite able to get up there and tackle that limitless esports machine for the top 5, but he's still got a few more chances here tonight. Look a little bit further back, there's Iracing, and he's now losing ground on Buzzio, actually fairly rapidly. I've seen it deteriorate 3/10 of a second now for Iracing, so looks like his chances of potentially improving are kind of fading. And back in this lead battle, Gavin Rogers,
Well,
with
that's
these
it, folks.
tactics late, has been able to stave off
We
the
tried.
advance
I
of
mean, at
Ronnie
least we got
Norman,
back up in the
and
top
it's now
10.
all the way up to 0.6 of a second. With
Yeah,
all things considered, can't really be too mad about that. We definitely had top 3 car tonight,
good
but
at saving tires, as he is starting to pull
it is what
away
it is.
from, one of the best at saving tires, in my opinion, of Ronnie Norman.
Well, you know, you can save tires, and certainly that's
It is what it is. Long night, ready for it to be over here.
But what are you saving them for? At some point, you have to make a decision. I'm going to use up my savings. And do you use it? You know, when do you use it? It's really difficult strategy to make. It's certainly easy to say, oh, well, it's 5 laps to go. Now's the time for me to use it up. But if you get the opportunity to seize the day with 15 minutes or 15 laps to go, do you use it then and use up your 5-lap advantage right then? Do you wait until 10 laps to go? When exactly is the right time to use it up? So, you know, possibly Ronnie used it up to get up there and try and get up next to Gavin Rogers. And when Rogers started basically throwing him some dirty air, it basically made the strategy unworkable for Ronnie Norman to be able to get by and make the pass. And then there's always, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. And with all this dirty air, especially if somebody is in control who knows how to throw that dirty air at the car behind, it can be darn near impossible to try to make a pass here at a track like this.
Yeah, and you were talking about when was the right time to go. I think Rogers figured it out that 15 to go was the right time to start pushing the car, and he was able to pull away significantly from Ronnie. So I think 15 laps to go is the right time to say, all right, time to drop the hammer.
Well, taking a look at our third place car right now, Stephen Borbell, he took the second stage of tonight. It's been a solid run for him. He's been a terrific contender here tonight. Hasn't really been able to
Where are you
lead
at, Steven?
a lot of laps. He did lead some
nice.
in the second stage, but it's been all
Terrible
Ronnie
points
Norman,
night for me. No stage points.
in the first stage, and then somewhat here in the third stage. But you got this guy, Gavin Rogers,
Something like that.
who's second in the points coming in here. He's taken one of the victories, and right now he is just 1 lap away, Christian, 1 lap from taking victory here in the Armed Forces 400.
Yeah, good rain.
Yeah, the only person that can take this away from him now is himself, so he's just got to run a very clean.
All things
turns
considered, I
3
guess
and
I should be
4,
happy
and
with a
he'll be
7th.
The winner here at Charlotte, and winning here.
I would
at
have
400-mile
definitely been in the
race,
top 5 if it was for that
that's
fucking
something.
restart. I don't know who
It
did
was a long
what,
run for these
but
guys. It's been 3 hours, and finally, Gavin Rogers is going to be your winner here in the Armed Forces 400.
good race, guys.
Terrific victory for Gavin Rogers. Ronnie Norman taking second place with a amazing effort, but just not enough to overcome Gavin's speed advantage here tonight. And Stephen Borbell is going to take third place. We're going to get the final results together, have a chat with our top 3 finishers here. Stay tuned on virtualracing.network. Still lots to come.
Oh, shit, Steven. I'm sorry, buddy. I was trying to do a cool donut thing.
There you see it on your screen, the top finisher, Stephen Borbell, and he celebrates out there on the track. I'm sorry, Stephen Borbell. I have him locked down for third. Gavin Rogers, the top finisher here. who needed this to take over some points, and certainly after the way that the first two stages went, he needed to close it out in solid fashion. Rogers able to take the victory. Second place going to Ronnie Norman for Full Send Esports. Third place going to Gavin Rogers' teammate over at Next Level Motorsports, Stephen.
Just saying hello.
Fourth, Carl Pooler. Fifth, Nicholas Renner. Sixth,
Steven.
going to Patrick Hernandez. Adam Buzzio there comes up to give Gavin a wave. Adam finishing in 7th place. 8th, going to Matthew Iracing. 9th, Richard Wolsifer. 10th, Christopher Campbell. 11th, Eric Hawk. 12th, Matthew Porter. 13th, Brendan Maddox. 14th, Jeff Barefoot. 15th, Jared Hughes. 16th, Evan Patinko. 17th, Bill Hales. 18th, Dustin Stallings. 19th, Cameron Stearns. And 20th goes to Ryder Reminick. And so with that,
My tires are very
Christian,
dead.
let's talk about your final thoughts on tonight before we pull up the final drivers and have an interview with them. What did you think about tonight here at the Armed Forces 400?
Well, it was a great race, a lot of strategy, not too many cautions. It was a little bit cautiony in the beginning, but everyone smoothed it out, and this was a fantastic race. And Gavin Rogers, I just noticed he has in memory of, I couldn't read the name, but on the tail, so I'm sure he is super happy to win this one. And I'll have to go back and listen to the interviews and see what everyone says, but this was an absolutely awesome race, and can't wait for Dover next week, and I'll be there for that one as well.
Absolutely, Christian. Well, we appreciate you joining us here tonight. We'll see you back here at Dover next week, and in the meantime, I'll carry out these interviews.
Oh man, what a race, huh?
The rest of your night.
I mean, if we didn't have bad luck tonight, we wouldn't have had any,
That's
man.
Christian Snyder.
Made a
Great
couple
to have
aggressive
back here
calls,
in
and
the
it
booth.
worked out.
Dow,
I think
I'm
we should have
actually gonna be
probably
joined before we get to the
got a top
driver
5, top 3, but I'm
interviews.
happy with the 7th
Adam
tonight.
Buzzio
I'll let you guys
wants
get to
to,
the
jump
podium
in and-
finishers here. I just wanted
Well,
to give a quick shout out to
congratulations
you guys
on such a
first
great
for
comeback,
sticking with us
effort
tonight. I know it was a
from
long
Adam,
night.
coming back from a couple
Great
of
job
laps
as
down
always.
to
We
finish
appreciate it.
in
Oh,
7th,
and I want to
but,
thank all the
I suppose you've got
drivers.
more to say
We
than
got
just that.
quite a few new guys in
Oh,
this
man,
week,
what a race,
and
huh?
I think most of them stuck with it with us tonight. So wanted to thank all the drivers, new and old, for coming out here and sticking with it. Other than those first couple yellows, we had a really great show tonight, I think. So good racing. Everybody kind of calmed down there after the first 30 laps or so. So just wanted to give a shout out to everybody and say how much I appreciate it. Great job as always. We appreciate it. Oh, and I want to thank all the drivers. We got quite a few new guys in this week, and I think most of them stuck with it with us tonight. So wanted to thank all the drivers, new and old, for coming out here and sticking with it. Other than those first couple yellows, we had a really great show tonight, I think. So good racing. Everybody kind of calmed down there after the first 30 laps or so. So just wanted to
I
give a
know,
shout
no
out to
kidding.
everybody.
Yeah,
And
we,
say how much I
I'm a vet
appreciate it.
myself, so it's important to me that we
Absolutely. Shout out to
try
you
to
for putting this
honor
all
them in any
together,
small
and,
way we can. So
great to
glad.
salute the armed forces. I know you carried a patriotic paint.
I was in the
All
Navy,
drivers
but
did
I
out
was
there
I was
tonight.
with the Marine Corps for the
Winning
majority of
driver.
my time. I was a
Ended
medic.
up,
I was what they call
carrying it.
corpsman.
Of course, Ronnie Norman did too,
So I was actually
so
only on a
fun
ship
to
for
see
about
the
2
patriotic
months,
paint
but
teams out there tonight, and, congratulations on everybody surviving such a long night.
different breed,
I know,
man.
no
That's a
kidding.
different
Yeah,
breed.
I'm a vet
Luckily,
myself,
I'm
so it's
luckily I'm
important
too
to me
tall,
that we
so
try to honor them in any small way we can. So
I couldn't
glad-
see which branch you served in.
I was in the Navy, but I was with the Marine Corps for the majority of my time. I was a medic. I was what they call corpsman.
Absolutely. All right,
so I
guys.
was
I'll let you
actually
get
on
to
only on a
the
ship for
podium
about 2
finishers. Thank
months,
you guys
but-
so much.
Awesome. My dad was a submariner, so hey.
Different breed, man. That's a different breed. luckily, I'm too tall. So
I hear you. Well, thanks.
Good fucking win, Gavin. Good run, Ronnie.
Appreciate it, and it's always great to salute those
Yeah.
here and abroad that.
Yeah, I
keep safe so we
wish
can
I
go
was
out
up
and
there
do
with
some
you guys.
silly
I don't know
sim
who
racing.
fucked up that last restart, but
Absolutely.
it just
All right, guys,
ruined
I'll let
me.
you get
I
to
got
the,
I
podium
got a
finishers.
4x
Thank
in
you guys
front
so
end
much.
damage from it, and
Thanks, Adam.
there's
So with
about
that,
4 or
we're
5 of
gonna
us
try
that
and
got
talk
absolutely
with our
buried.
third-place
Like, I
finisher,
don't know. We
Stephen
started off 4 or 5
Borbell.
seconds
Let's
back,
get
so it
him
was
here
pretty much
in the
over at that
booth, and
point. Where the fuck was
managed to
that?
climb
Right
out of the
here.
car, and he's got 3 different branches of service on the car there tonight. Stephen, congratulations, third
Who
place here
screwed
tonight.
that pooch, man?
I know it may feel a little bittersweet because you took the second stage victory and you were you know, you were feeling it. We were going to bring you up here for the second stage victory, but it said that you were streaming, so we didn't want to like interrupt that. But hey, man, awesome night, third place, and that's 2 next level motorsports drivers in the top 3.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate it. It is a little bittersweet, not really.
That
At
that was
the end of
Nick.
the day, if you can't tell right now, I'm a little sick and under the weather, so I wasn't even really planning on doing the whole race. I was more so going to start and park, but things went okay.
Yeah.
So I just tried to stick it out, and it ended up doing pretty good for me.
That's right. In our
It was the
chat ahead
9
of
car.
time, you
Who's
told me
9?
that, you got sick this week, and I know so many people have
That
been getting
cost-
sick. Like,
Jeff,
everybody's
that
been getting
cost
sick, so
8
you're out there
dudes
and,
a chance to race
you know,
to the
you're,
end.
you
I mean,
got the
he's
flu shot or
5 car
whatever
lengths
you
back
need to do,
from
get some vitamin
Steven
C,
here.
Get your flu shot, get your whatever you need to keep yourself
Whatever.
safe.
It is what it is. I didn't. A long race for me
Stop
tonight,
licking
so I guess I
doorknobs,
should just
Steven.
be happy
I mean,
that I
know.
got a
I
top
do need
10.
to stop doing that.
But
so
talk
tempting.
Shitty points
Talk
tonight,
about
though.
your race, though. I mean, you did take that second stage. It
Well,
had to
whatever.
have felt
Good win,
really
Gavin.
good to you out there tonight. What was the difference between being able to hang with Rogers and Norman and where you finished there in third?
And so, like I was saying, I hadn't been feeling good, so I didn't even get to practice at all coming into it brand new. So that first stage just really took it easy and saved fuel, saved tires and everything, and it worked out well. I think I finished third or so. I didn't have the pace that Gavin or Ronnie had, but to see myself up there at the end of the second stage and battle for it, it felt really good for sure. And yeah, overall, it just went a lot better than I thought it was going to go tonight, so I'm happy with it.
Well, certainly, you did carry some cool sponsors on the car. It's a big
All right,
product
everybody.
night.
That's it.
The Armed Forces
Thank you guys
400. Who
for
would you like
checking
to
it out
thank
if you
for the
did.
run to
If
third?
you didn't, that's okay too.
Definitely. First,
We'll
I'd
be
like
back
to
at it again
thank
next
my
Tuesday,
fiancé,
9
Addison,
o'clock p.m. Eastern
who's
time
not her.
for the
One
Buttkicker
of
Cup
my
Series.
teammates, Gavin and
Y'all have a good
Adam.
night.
Adam had an